If there's not a bigger moment in the starting weeks of the season than the opening day, then this is probably it. It's what all of last season was aiming towards. It's the Champions League draw. And we're going to be going through it right now. We've got a lovely little group in the background to talk us through each of the teams, the rules, game days, to get your thoughts on what it's going to take for Tottenham to win the whole thing. Or is it even possible? We're going to discuss that and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, the Spurs Talk Show starts right now.
Lovely touch from him though. Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, can you do something, please? Last chance, Matt Doherty! Oh, you shite! There could be from the dead to the don't fuck it up now, don't win it! Go and win it! Let's go for the chance! Stephen Bergwijn! Stephen Bergwijn's through! Win it, Stephen! Come on! Yes! He's won it! He's gonna win it! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh! We did it!
Yes, people! I love Champions League Draw Day! How's everybody doing? If you're new here, welcome! If you're not new here, welcome back! We are, I think, 10 minutes away from the show starting, probably an hour away, hour and 10 away from the draw for the Champions League group stages 2022-2023! How excited are you? Let me know in the comments. If you don't mind, please smash that like button for me. Get the likes. Get that engagement ratios working for the algorithm already as we try and grow the channel towards 3,000. It's the next mark. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're going to get straight into this one. Let's see who is in the background. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show. You know him as my partner in crime. He's from the other side of the Emerald Isle. Please welcome, make him feel very, very comfortable, Mr. Adam William Cahill.
What's the story, folks? How are we getting on?
Good, mate. Yeah, I'm well, buddy. How are you?
Excited. It's obviously, it's a really, really important day for us to discover exactly who we're taking on the Champions League. Having just come back from the UK and seen us have the victory over Wolves over the weekend, I am really looking forward to booking tickets to a Champions League game in the very near future. So I can't wait to see which of the three teams would I prefer to see us take on at our beautiful stadium. So yeah, can't wait.
We're going to talk about that. Before I bring in the next guest, Adam, mate, is your mic, are you set up to, can you check your audio? Because I think you might be on your computer mic versus your...
Am I really?
You might be, I don't know. It just sounds like it's a bit distant.
Uh-oh.
Whilst you're doing that, let me bring in the next guest. He's become quite a regular in the post-game shows. He comes on, him and Adam have little tuts, little fights, little fisticuffs about one person's love, one person's hate of a certain Pierre Hoiberg. You know him as Mr. OCD, Mr. Whiskey. I know him as Soren. Welcome to the show, Soren. How you doing, buddy?
How are you doing?
Good, mate. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Really excited for this one. Let's see who we're going to be kicking out of the Champions League so we can go all the way to the final.
Oh, yeah, mate. Do you think is that what your expectation? Well, let's start with that. What are your expectations out of not the draw necessarily, but the tournament itself? Do you think we have a realistic hope of doing well in it, and how well do you think we can actually do?
It's hard to say until we see the draw in it, but certainly, I'm personally at least quarterfinals. Why not? If the draw's favourable to us at this stage, there's no reason we shouldn't at least go 1 or 2 rounds into the knockout.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And Adam, before I bring in welcome the guys in the comments, just to get things going with your prediction, your expectations. How do you feel? Are Tottenham set up to do well in the Champions League this season?
I think that we are still a couple of decent signings away to have the squad depth to be able to go. I mean, we don't want to just get into the Champions League for the sake of it. We want to have a good run, don't we? I obviously, of course, don't expect that we go on and win the thing, but I would love to see us get into a quarterfinal, semi-final. And in order for that to happen, I think we do need a couple of more signings. So it's between that and how hard our group is. But I fully expect that. We're not going to rest on our laurels. We are going to try and take it to whoever it is we're playing against. I just don't. We should set our expectations at the appropriate level, though, right? Conte notoriously is not all that big of a hitter when it comes to his Champions League stripes. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got to set realistic standards, I think, folks. And this is you know me. I'm an optimistic guy. I believe in the best for the team, but I think for this one, let's just enjoy every moment of it and not expect all that much from these guys. We're still in a rebuild, so keep the expectations at an appropriate level, whatever we do.
Nice, mate. Nice. I love it. I personally will accept nothing less than lifting the trophy. Anything other than that, and that is a failure. Completely flip-flopped on my opinion on success and failure. We have to win it, and if we don't, then Conte out, Levy out, everybody else out as well. Stadium out, training ground out. Let's see who's in the comments to say hello, to walk us through, or to walk together through this exciting afternoon we have in store. First of all, got Carl Simpson. What's happening? Carl, he's saying, big up, mate. Hope you're well. I am well. Actually, you know what? I don't think I am anymore, because I've been sweating profusely from the head. And I thought over the last few days, but not anywhere else. And I looked up what that could be. And one of the, you don't want to be like someone who self-diagnoses.
No.
If you have a headache, Google will tell you it's a tumor.
Google.
Yeah.
I think the term that you're looking for is talking dribble.
Yeah, that's probably true as well. That's definitely part of the symptoms. But I reckon that the Dr. Google says that I might have a bad liver or kidneys or something, because if you're only sweating from one part of your body, it's usually something to do with an organ. So I need to go and check that out for sure. Says me, who's still got a beer right in front of me, just on the off chance that today's my last day. I'm going to go out swinging. Who else we got in the house? We got Lynchy's got the dance, the Eric Dyer dance. Good to see you, my man. How you doing, Lynchy? Terry Wright's in the house as well, saying big up, everyone. Big up, Terry, how you doing, my man? Nick Collinson, what's up, Ranjito? He says, sure, with the warm-up show to Shelfside Spurs at 7:30. What a pleasant evening you will have in store. 100%. Make sure I'll stick the link up, Nick. If you text me the link to your show, then when we sign off, I'll get everybody to make sure they have access to it. But yeah, get over there for 7:30 for their show. Nigel Watson's in the house saying, hey, Sean, and all, come on, you Spurs. Come on, Nigel. What's happening, my man? That's me saying, hit that like button, guys. Please hit the like button for me. Lisa's in the house. What's happening, Lisa? Good to see you. You're up. Is it early in Mexico? Must be quite early, like 10 o'clock or something. Hope it's nice over there. Big up, Sean. She says, Darius is in the house. Darius Vasilionkaitis. I've mastered your last name now. Big up, Sean. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to you. Side Dancers in the house. What's happening, Si? He says, hi, everyone. Nice, easy group. Please. We're going to talk about that in a second. What does everyone want? What does everyone prefer? We're also going to go through the rules. We're going to go through the teams, look a little bit at the betting odds, and then we'll maybe take a look at half a dozen of the teams that are ahead of us in the favourites column, and then see what they've done in the transfer window, and see if they're a real threat, or maybe the teams that we can go after. Derek Smith's in the house. What's happening, Deza? Good to see you, my man. Del Boyce this afternoon. Sean and all in the chat. Good afternoon. Cooper from Alabama. What's happening, my man? He says, hey, Sean and everyone. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Kelvin Fletcher's here. Big up, mate. Bring on Barca. Come on. Is that what you want? You want Barca? I wouldn't mind. I think Barca could be there for the taking, Like they've got all that financial madness. They haven't been able to, to get half of their players like listed in time. It's all a big shit show over at Barcelona. And what a nice thing to do to go over to the new camp and take the 3 points. That'd be superb. Derek Smith saying he's not excited until the draw is done. Okay, I like that about you. Just keep everything calm. Keep calm. Carry on. Lukey's in the house saying, "Come on, live a little." To Derek, Paul Longworth's in the house as well. What's happening, Paul? He says, "We want to play the best. Go big or go home, boys." I like that. I like that attitude. I think that's the way I feel about it, but I don't think that's the way that the other two here feel about that. On your bike, Scott's in the house. Big up, lads. What's happening, Scotty boy? Good to see you, my man. Kelvin Fletcher as well. Not good enough for quarterfinals this year, I'm afraid. Can't go into that comp like it appears we will. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm actually going to star that because that's a good one. Terry Wright, my expectations are low. Our backline could get exposed by the elite teams. Yeah, could possibly, mate. Could possibly well do. THF. Oh, we can't get Barca. Oh, I haven't seen that. Why is that?
Are we in the same pot as them?
Oh, of course we are.
We are. Yeah, we are.
That makes sense. Yeah, sorry. My guess is PSG, Inter, Rangers won't get out of the group without a world-class centre-back, says THFC Brown, 100%, my man. We've got Tom Marcannon saying, hello, chaps and chapesses. It would be interesting to get Conte's old side, Internacional, hoping we get Copenhagen. Yeah, that'd be nice. Nice trip to Denmark. That'd be lovely. I wouldn't mind doing that. Carl Simpson's as well saying we are 100% getting Ajax as one of the group. Yeah. Old Stephen Bergwijn to right some wrongs in his mind, I think. And Terry White says, love the optimism, Derek Smith. I hope you are right, mate. Well, let's have a look, guys. Let's start by having a quick look-see at the information. So there's 32 teams. Obviously, everyone knows that. They'll be split into 4 seeding pots for Thursday's draw. Pot 1 will consist of the holders, Real Madrid, Europa League winners, Frankfurt, and the champions of the 6 highest-ranked nations who did not qualify via one of the 2021 continental titles. Pots 2 to 4 will be determined by club coefficient rankings. No team can play aside from their own league at this stage, meaning there will be no all-English or all-Scottish ties until the knockout phase, though teams from England and Scotland could be drawn against each other. UEFA will confirm any other restrictions ahead of the draw ceremony. I do believe one of the things that I saw today, and I spoke about it earlier on my walk along, was I think I saw that Chelsea and Tottenham can't be drawn in the same, like, you know how they do like A, B, C, D, and then E, F, G, H. They have the little, where they pick the teams out. I don't think Chelsea, like if Chelsea get drawn first out of Chelsea and Tottenham, they'll go into A, B, C, D, and then we'll go into E, F, G, H, so that Tottenham and Chelsea can't play at home on the same days. I do think that's a rule that they put into place because we're in the same city and they don't want 2 Champions League games in London. I don't know what that would mean if this season Spurs, Chelsea, and Arsenal all finished in the top 4. I don't know how they would do that for next season, but we'll worry about that.
I don't think we need to worry about that, do we?
Because Arsenal's not going to do it. Right?
Well, look, if that was the case, you would imagine that they prioritise not having Arsenal and Tottenham play on the same day, considering it's the exact same part of the city.
Yeah, 100%. These are the pots, guys. So in pot 1, we've got Real Madrid, Frankfurt, Man City, Milan, Bayern, PSG, Porto, and Ajax. Pot 2, Liverpool, Chelsea, Barca, Juve, Atletico, Seville, Leipzig, and Tottenham. Pot 3 is Dortmund, Salzburg, Shakhtar Donetsk, who will be playing their home games in Poland, in Warsaw, because of what's happening out in the Ukraine. Inter Milan, Napoli, Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, and Bayer Leverkusen. And pot 4, which was only finally arranged, I think, a couple of days ago when they had their final qualifiers. Rangers made it in. Dynamo Zagreb have made it in. Marseille, Copenhagen, Club Brugge, Celtic, Victoria, and Maccabi Haifa. This is a good time to pause and reflect, guys, just quickly. Well, not quickly at all. We can take as much time as we want. We've got plenty of time. Adam, I'll start with you. Who would you say? Well, let's look at pot one to start with. Who would you say is the best in the, or rank them in whichever order you want. Rank them from most difficult to shouldn't be there.com.
Shouldn't be there.
Or shouldn't be in pot1.com. They should,
quite harsh. Look, obviously, you can see who the heavy hitters are. They stand out immediately. Your Real Madrid, your Milan, your Bayern Munich, your PSG, and then Man City. I think they're still they obviously tend to get quite far in the Champions League. They've just never gotten to the finish line. So I mean, in this particular competition, I think Manchester City. Considering as well that we're their bogey side. Looking at it from a Tottenham perspective, I don't think Man City seem as formidable as the others. Although to other teams, maybe they're up there as well. So then you've got
we can't get them anyway, can we? Obviously, we can't be drawn against Man City, so they're out of the equation.
Right. So but then you've got your Frankfurt, Porto, Ajax. So they'd be the teams that realistically, as much as they're not to be sniffed at, they're the teams that you're looking at going. If you want an easier draw. That's what you want to be looking at. And I think for me, between the three of them, I think Ajax would just be fun. Ajax would just be an awful lot of fun for the fact that we have history against them. Absolute incredible historic moment when Lucas Moura took them down after getting us in the Champions League final, and then the fact that Bergwijn has gone back there. Obviously, the
banging in the goals, by the way, and banging in the goals.
There is the danger. There is the danger of him having his a bit of giving us a bit of the middle finger, shall we say? But it would be fun. You can't say it wouldn't be fun.
I mean, let's not forget though that Real Madrid don't always play great in the first stages. They seem to come alive in the knockouts, don't they? So maybe it's not a bad thing getting Real Madrid at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for me, it depends on what you want. Like, obviously. I would probably rather play the big boys, just because I think that I explored that on my walk this morning. I personally think that I don't think we're going to win it, and so I think I'd like to see us play six, or play the big teams. Otherwise, what's the point of getting, doing all the hard work? It's so that you can test yourselves against the big boys. I don't really care what sort of draw we get. If we get a really tough one, I'll be excited to play against the best teams in Europe. If we get a really easy one, then I'll be excited about the prospect of going deep into the competition. For me, of the three teams that are, I agree with you, Adam, that Frankfurt, Porto, and Ajax look the weakest. I think Ajax are obviously a little bit of an unknown entity because they've had so long with Erik ten Hag and he's not around anymore. And Ajax also might not have a couple of their players that they currently have. Anthony looks like he's moving on, or potentially going to be moving on, and so it's going to be difficult to see what they look like. Also, Frankfurt, obviously, they've lost. Their big left wing back in Kostic, the player that we should have signed. So I don't know if Frankfurt are going to be the same sort of level, or have they replaced anybody? We can have a look at that in a minute. What are your thoughts, Soren?
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is obviously all them teams are pretty close as well. We haven't got a long way to travel, have we? I mean, it could be worse with travelling side. I kind of want an easier draw to get to the knock. We're gonna play a big teams at some point. So personally, I'd rather play them in the knockouts than this stage. So yeah, I mean, Porto, Ajax, Frankfurt, they were the three that I looked at straight away. German teams are always pretty good. I think Ajax are going to be the weaker in the theory of it, knowing that they could still lose a couple more players as well. So.
Yep.
I mean, whichever way we do it, we're going to have to play the top teams to get to the final if that's as far as we go. But, for me, Porto or Ajax would be the two that I would like to see drawn.
Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at Frankfurt. Obviously, they let go of Philip. Let me get this. I can get this up for a second. That's what she said. Share screen. So
Pellegrini's a solid player. They still have Ndicka, right?
They've still got Ndicka. They let go of Philip Kostic. I can't believe they only let him go for less than 11 million quid. That's absolutely insane. Yeah, I know, it's madness. Absolute madness why we didn't go for them. I can't believe it. And then in terms of people that they brought in a few players. Jakic from Zagreb. Mario Götze. He's a good player, isn't he? Goetze from Eindhoven. Lucas Alario, I don't know too much about him, and I don't know too much about Jens Petter Hoge or Hoge. Yeah, look, I wouldn't be too frightened of getting hold of. Like, they're obviously a team that plays well, plays above their station in terms of the value or the quality, kind of like what Ajax did a few years ago. And in terms of who the other teams, Porto, we want to see what Porto are doing.
I think the thing with the German teams, though, they're always very well organised, aren't they?
Yeah, always.
We have struggled against German teams in the past, so
yeah. Let's have a look at Ajax. Why isn't that working? You going to help me out here? Right, okay. Don't worry about that. Let me go back to. Let me get back to this then for a second.
I mean, the thing we've got to look at, Ajax have lost that great big defender that they had, didn't they?
Ajax, yeah. I don't know why it's not working. Let me get it up. Ajax.
They've also got Anthony desperately trying to go to Manchester United for some reason.
Yeah, to join his big mate.
This is it.
Yeah, before we move on,
Sean.
Yeah, I am. My screen's for some reason it's not showing me Ajax. Oh, here we go. I've got it now. I've got it. I'm back in the game. That's what we're talking about. Let me get this up. And no, I need to remove that, and I need to start sharing this. Okay. Here we go. So, in terms of Ajax signings this summer, they haven't signed. They've got their Jay Gorta. Nobody. There's absolutely zero value there. But this is their. What's going on? Screens all over the place. Jurrien Timber. He's their main centre back. He's an absolute monster, isn't he? That's Jurrien Timber. He was supposed to be going to Manchester United, and that fell through last minute. Obviously, Anthony they're looking at selling right now for about 80 million quid. So, I mean, the team that Ajax currently have, if they do lose Anthony, they might lose that Edson Alvarez as well. I heard Alvarez might be going to Spain. Then Steven Bergwijn is obviously their main guy up front. Look, this is one of the reasons it was so obvious to me that Ajax he was going to do really well at Ajax. That's why I was saying all in the summer, all of last season, if we do sell him to Ajax, then we should have a sell-on clause, because I could imagine him banging in 35 goals in Holland, going to the World Cup, maybe even getting like Golden Boot in the World Cup, and then his value being 70, 80 million, and then going on to Spain in a couple of years' time. I don't think that actually ended up happening. I don't think we got a sell-on clause, but do you think Bergwijn would have a point to prove and would be a real threat against Tottenham? He knows Tottenham inside and out. Would that be a good enough reason to not even have them to not want to come up against them, just because of the kind of the inner circle secrets that he can give away to?
No, I think we've seen this before, haven't we? Where we've got a manager, or you get a player that's playing, and to me, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. Teams know how we're going to play. In a sense, we're going to do that 3-5-2, 3-5-3. So that's up to Conte whether he changes that. So I don't think there's a lot of secrets behind how we play, is there? So, and looking at the team, if we don't get anybody else in, I think it's almost pretty obvious what the first team's going to be. So, I don't think it makes a difference. If we're going to play him, we're going to play him. Has he got approved point to prove? Of course he has. Any player returning to a team is going to want to do something, aren't they? And especially the way he was let go. So, it wouldn't surprise me.
I think we were quite hamstrung as well, but last season we only really had one team that we could play. We had literally, it was the same team every single game, and we knew, as you've pointed out many times, Sean, that we knew when Bergwijn was going to come onto the pitch. We knew when Lucas Moura was going to come on the pitch. There was literally no surprises, whereas now the squad depth is more considerable. I don't think that Steven Bergwijn could even say, this is exactly what these guys are going to do. Things are going to change. The formation is capable of being shifted around a bit as well. We don't have to do the 3-4-3. We can switch to a 3-5-2, as was proven in the last game. And there's still an opportunity for more players to come in the transfer window while it's still open. So I don't think the Bergwijn will have anything particular up his sleeve. I don't think he's seen enough. I don't think he knows enough. He's played enough under Conte. to know everything that Conte has up his sleeve either. I don't. So the only thing that we have to worry about where the only thing we have to worry about where Bergwijn is concerned is his right foot, and as you say, he's definitely putting them away at the moment. So he could come at us with wanting a bit of to kind of to show. But basically try and force us to eat a bit of humble pie and say, look, you could have, if you had played me, you could have kept me. But look what I'm doing now for these guys.
Let's have a look at what you could have won. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So it's as I say, I think it would be fun. And I think that it'd be fun to have them in our group, but definitely that little bit of danger there, just for the fact that he will have a point to prove.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. No, I think we're actually going to need to speed up a little bit because Nick was saying that the draw is happening actually, or the balls are getting. What was he saying that the balls are getting
to go.
Dropped in about 8 minutes time. So I've got the TV. I've got the TV on next to me. So we'll be able to get it to you as soon as it happens. Pot 2, guys. Obviously, we're not going to be playing any of these teams, but if we do manage to get through, who is in your opinion? There, I'll start with you, Soren. Who's your I think someone made the point earlier that pot 2 looks stronger than pot 1.
I said that. Yeah, I think pot 2's a bloody strong pot. It wouldn't surprise me almost if at least one of those teams is in the final, and if the winner didn't really come from there as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know if I want to play any of those teams.
I think I would imagine, right, that if other fans or other clubs right now are playing the same game that we are, who do you want, who don't you want? I would imagine that Tottenham would probably be the team that everybody else would want to get from pot 2.
I'll tell you what, if you're in pot 2, I think you're looking at, them fans are looking at that and thinking, there aren't many teams in this that we're scared of. In the whole draw now, pot 2 is strong.
It's a monster, isn't it? Absolute monster.
It is, yeah. I mean, the only one that you'd kind of want to draw in there maybe is Leipzig, just to see, what's the defense. But I don't know. I won't want any of them.
And pot 3, this obviously does matter to us. Dortmund, Salzburg, Shakhtar, Inter, Napoli, Benfica, Sporting, Leverkusen. Adam, who's the big name in that one? Is it Inter, do you think?
Yeah, Inter for sure. Absolutely. They've got to be the most difficult team there by a long shot. Dortmund would have been considerably more threatening if they still had Haaland, but of course they don't. Yeah. So, I mean, they're considerably less formidable. The rest of them, like Inter is the team that you really do not want from that pot. The rest of them, you would take your chances for sure. Certainly not as dangerous as the first two by a long shot.
Just having a look at Borussia Dortmund, seeing if they've actually spent any money on. Oh, they did. They bought Sebastian Haller. I think Tom Marcanen was saying that they bought them. They replaced Haaland with Sebastian Haller from Ajax, and they bought Karim Adeyemi as well from Salzburg. So both for 27 million, and they bought Nico Schlotterbeck as well, which was a player that I would have absolutely loved to have had at Tottenham. Big, tall, stocky centre back from Freiburg. And they bought Anthony Modeste. They bought three centre forwards this summer. Did Dortmund? They really reinvested that money. So Inter Milan's your team to avoid in pot 3. And who would you like to have from pot 3 there, Adam?
I think probably Shakhtar of all of them. I can't say that they stand out as being particularly formidable compared to the rest. Although again, it is definitely, as where the Champions League is concerned, it's a fairly weak pot. Shakhtar probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And Soren, how about you, mate? Teams you'd like, teams you wouldn't.
Yeah, I think we all don't want to draw into, but then. Yeah, Benfica, Sporting, if and Shakhtar, I would say the 3 that I would want to look at drawing one of them, but we've got to play one of them, haven't we? So it's
as long as it's not Inter, please not Inter.
Yeah,
I think Inter will be quite exciting. We've smashed them before, didn't we? We smashed them in 2012 when we got in under Harry Redknapp and Gareth Bale did the hat trick. Yeah,
Scotty's really looking to test this team.
Yeah. Is that Yaya Toure on telly? I think it is. Is that Yaya Toure?
It's a very, very small square on my screen, so I can't.
Fair enough. And then so pot four. Obviously, these are like the kind of the teams that you know if you get. I don't think there's any team in there that you should be fearful of, but the teams that could maybe are we talking? Would you want to get a Scottish team? Would you want to play Rangers or Celtic? It'd be a feisty affair, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are. It's another one of those things where you look at pot four and you think you're looking at basically the bottom of the Premier League, and you're going, we should be putting these to bed. We should be putting these to bed. You know what I mean? I know they're Champions League teams. They're absolutely not to be sniffed at. Nobody is, but they are like. There's absolutely none of them where I go. At least in pot three, there's one team where you think, oh, please don't give me that. But in pot four, I'd take any of them. I'm not worried about anyone that we get from there. Although the Scottish games might be spicy, they're still totally winnable.
Yeah, totally agree with that, Adam. I mean, it's going to be more like a Premiership game against Rangers and Celtic. I think the rest of those, it's going to be probably, I don't want to say easier because obviously none of the games are easier. But I mean, the thing is as well, what we've also got to think of, we don't really want the unknown and the ones that we expect to thrash because that's when we don't play well. So
I was going to say, I don't want to get that Victoria Pleasant or whatever it is from Prague. I don't want to get them, I
mean, I suppose the only other one is Maccabi. Do we want them? It's a bit more of a travelling, isn't it? So
that's true. That's
a good point. Yeah, you'd rather stay close to home, wouldn't you? Get Marseille, maybe. It's not a bad one. Marseille or
I'm going to say Marseille,
Bruges, perhaps.
Yeah, the Celtic Rangers. It's going to be spicy. The upside to it is we haven't got far to travel. I mean,
I think Bruges would be ideal. Thinking about it now, based on those parameters, you're very right. The traveling element would be.
Yeah, Bruges or Copenhagen would suit me, to be honest with you. I think. Yeah,
Maccabi Haifa's in Israel.
Israel,
that's too far to go.
Yeah, that's what I say. If we can avoid the traveling as well, then it makes. The Wednesday, Sunday type thing a lot easier, doesn't it? It's not. We haven't got the excuse of we've had to travel and things like that. So,
yeah, 100% agree. Let me just give everyone a quick update. I think we're only a couple of minutes away. I believe if what Nick was saying is true, then they're still talking, but the balls should be dropped into the different buckets pretty soon. The games are September the 6th, 7th, 13th, 14th, October the 4th, 5th, October the 11th and 12th, October 25th, 26th, November the 1st and 2nd. I'm just going to get up Tottenham fixtures so that I can see which Premier League games they wrap around. So the first game was... Oh, hang on a second. Where's my thing gone? Here we go. So September the 6th and 7th is... let me get this up for you guys so you can see it with me. Tottenham fixtures. September the 6th and 7th means that is after the Fulham game, Tottenham at home against Fulham, and before the Manchester City game. The next fixture is September the 13th and 14th, which is after the Man City game and before the Leicester game at home. So back-to-back weeks there. And then after that, we got October the 4th and 5th, which is after the Arsenal game. Jesus Christ, that's difficult. And then, where you gone? After the Arsenal game and before the Brighton game. 11th and the 12th is after Brighton and before Everton. Go on, sorry.
I was just about to say, are those Saturday evening kickoffs then 5:30s?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah, they might be moved. They might. Yeah, there might be a bit of rearranging after the draw, depending on because I guess we wouldn't know whether we're playing on Tuesday or Wednesday yet either.
Because I mean, like the Fulham game, that's a Saturday. We never play on Saturday, do we?
No, no, that's right. Yeah, that's 3:00 on Saturday. Yeah, so that won't happen. And then the last one is October 25th and 26th, which is after the Man United away game and before the Newcastle. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, so we've got Man United on the 19th, Newcastle on the 22nd, and then another game 3 days later. Wow. So we could play Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday.
Well, the 19th, what? Because that's a Wednesday, isn't it? So,
yes, we got
good play. Yeah,
we play Man United on the Wednesday, then we play Newcastle at home on the Saturday, and then we play again on the Tuesday or Wednesday. Fucking hell! Couldn't have picked for harder wraparound fixtures, could you?
That's the thing about being in the Champions League, isn't it? I mean, I think it's Alex. He's worried about that twice a week. Well, we did it under Poch, didn't we? Twice a week, and we still managed it. And
when you think about the team we had under Poch, though, I still think that we are not at the level now that we were at then, which is that's a disheartening thing. When you think about a back line of Danny Rose, Toby, and Jan and Kyle Walker out on the right, and then a midfield that included Ericsson, Wayama.
That's first team again. Who was on the bench? We didn't have a massive bench, did we?
We didn't have a massive bench. But our first team, I think, aside from the fact that we have obviously we have the best front three in the Premier League at the moment. I think overall the team is still that little bit. We're shy of having that same quality in the first 11.
I agree with you there. I mean,
but you're right about squad depth for sure.
Yeah.
Balls are out, guys. The balls are out. They're just showing on the screen now. A, B, C, and D, the different 4 groups, E, F, G, and H. And I think that's the reason they've done that is for things like Tottenham and Chelsea. We can't be both. If Chelsea get put into, here we go. Are they just showing? Are they just showing as ifs? I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, I think Derek's thing there. Someone has to win it, and we've got to be in it to win it, and we're in it. So you never know. I don't think anybody would have said we'd have got to the final the other year, would they? So,
look, 100%. And whilst we're waiting, just quickly, and maybe we can expand on this after the draw. But what's it going to take for us to increase our confidence? Are we going to be? Do we need 2 more players? 3 more players?
2 more easily, at least 2. We need another. For me, we need to have the depth that we need to have quality every single game in rotation. You need a centre back, you need a midfielder, and you need another winger.
I think the thing we've got to say is it's not a case of needing another 2. We need 2 first team players to come in. It's not just another 2 we don't just need 2 more players. We need some quality. That's the thing.
Which could still happen. I mean, we haven't signed anybody since we lost Ndombele, we lost Lo Celso, and it looks as though Reguilon and Hill are out and very soon. And then you've also got Tanganga and Winks. If we got rid of all 6 of them, we've still not signed anybody. We could sign 2 or 3 more very, very easily in the next few days.
Yeah, as long as they're the right players, that's the thing. It's we're starting to get linked to almost desperation signings now. That's the worry about it.
I don't think that there are any desperation signings. It's peculiar signings. Peculiar because I don't think we're desperate for anyone. I don't think anyone we're looking at is like, oh, we're just grasping at them. We could get better players, but you look at the likes of trying to choose between Gordon and who is it, Dan James from Leeds. It's like, why are we even looking at either of those? I don't.
But this is what I'm saying. I mean, they're not our first choice. And please don't get Traore.
Oh, see, I disagree on the Traore thing. I think
actually.
at 10 million quid, at 10, I don't think he'll play all the time.
No,
but I think that if you think back to when we played Brighton last year, and we lost 1-0. Brighton didn't do the low block or the high press or anything. They squeezed the life out of the game. They pulled everybody in, and they basically said, Graham Potter basically said, he took a bet saying that our wingmen weren't as good as their wingmen, and he was right. We couldn't do it. I think it was Sessegnon and Emerson, I think at the time that played, was beaten by Cucurella, and I forget who the guy on the right was for Brighton at the time, but they absolutely squeezed the life. We couldn't go through the middle. When we tried to go out wide, it was completely unsuccessful. I don't think that any team could do that. if you have an Adama Traore on the pitch.
Yeah,
because
but
if you leave Adama Traore with one other player against him and an acre of space, he will beat you every time. So I just think it removes options.
He beats players, but then he doesn't do it. I mean, look at his.
But that's why you need Conte. You need Conte to fix that one part of his game. Every other part of his game is
saying the exact same with Emerson, and it's not happening.
No, it is happening. It is happening slowly. It is happening. He's getting better every game. Every game, he's Emerson.
Apart from against Chelsea, I thought against Chelsea, I thought he was.
Everyone was rubbish against Chelsea.
I think we've all got a pretty similar impression of Emerson. That is better at defending than he is going forward.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I don't see a lot of improvement at the end once he's got forward with what he's doing with the ball.
I've seen more attempts. He used to just stop the ball dead and go for a short pass. At least he's attempting it now. So hopefully that his confidence will.
It's not coming off, is it?
Not yet, but it may over the next few weeks and months. It may.
So in Emerson we must trust.
No, in Conte.
until we get Adama.
In Conte we must trust.
No.
I don't know. Here we go. The first name's out. Let's have a look, guys. Quickly.
Here we go.
We'll carry on talking about it. The first name is out, though. That is Yaya Toure, isn't it? Here we go. Who is it? In Group 1. Ajax. Ajax are the first name out of the hat.
Okay.
Will it be
Tottenham?
Oh, that'd be great if it was. It'd be absolutely fantastic. I don't know. I think that at 10 million quid, Adama is he's a different entity, and at 10, I don't think you get better value apart from maybe like Kostic going for 10.8. But I think
Traore could be absolutely phenomenal, to be honest.
Second name out. This is obviously from Pool 2 for Group A, and it is Porto.
Porto go into Group B. Is it? Oh no, wait.
Porto were Group A, weren't they?
Porto were Pot 1.
Okay. So they're doing all the Pot 1s first. Okay,
they'll do all the Pot 1 first, won't they?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all right for a few minutes, but no, I mean, Traore, no, I mean, he's one of those players that you sit and watch him and you think, go on, and it's always
he's a machine, though. If he can literally get his I mean, he scored in his last game, just FYI.
If you look at his last 4 or 5 seasons, I think his stats are pretty poor going forward.
No, they're terrible. He's got absolutely no final third ability whatsoever. But we need to see that. We need to see him in a system where he can, like if Conte, Conte knows how to turn players into, machines, and if we can get him just to improve on that final third output.
Yeah, but if we're going on that, but if we're going on that premises, then we stick with Emerson Royale because. That's saying Conte is going to turn him into a machine, which
Emerson Royale can't beat players the way Traore.
Well, I know he can't, but the thing is, I would say if you look at stats over the last few years, I bet Emerson's stats are better going forward than Traore's are. Not by much, probably, but I bet.
I saw a stat earlier about Emerson Royale on. Let me see if I can find it. It's up because we've got a couple of minutes whilst they're still doing that, haven't we? It's absolutely insane. I think Jack Kanicki posted it earlier. Where is he?
Just FYI, folks, what we're watching is like literally all of the teams from Pot 1 are being assembled across the various groups at the moment. So once they've all been put in, then they'll go into Pot 2 and we'll see which teams start getting matched. So right now, even though teams are going into groups, it's literally just all the Pot 1 teams are going into their own individual groups by themselves. And we're not seeing any matches yet, any actual form, the groups being formed until we get to Pot 2.
So this stat, let me see if I can show it to you. Emerson Royale is number 1 for Tottenham, ahead of Dejan Kulusevski, Richarlison, Pierre Højbjerg, and Rodrigo Bentancur. In touches, he's had more touches this season than anybody else. Sorry, he's had slightly less than Pierre Højbjerg. But in terms of his dribbling, he's had the most amount of successful dribbles, the most amount of successful attempts. He's got 100% success rate at dribbling past players. He's dribbled past 5 He's dribbled past opposition players 5 times, which is more than any other Tottenham player. More than Kulu, more than Richarlison, more than Højbjerg, and more than Bentancur, who are the most competitive behind him. So maybe we need to give him a little bit more credit for his offensive options as well.
Living up to the royal name. He is the king.
The thing is, I mean, it's interesting when you say things like that, because if you look at it, it's all the fans that are slating him, and all the pundits are that, none of them are really slating him other than saying he's had a bit of a bad game, but he's done quite well. So, it's interesting to see that the fans are the ones really against him, and everybody else are quite okay with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Conte absolutely loves him. Yeah. All right, so we've got Group A. I'm not sure if you can see it. All of the pots have been drawn. I think you can see it on the screen. It's going to update in real time, but we are going to pot 2 now. So we're going to start. Hopefully, we're going to see Tottenham.
We want to be one of the first 2 out now.
Yeah, come on, Tottenham. Who we got? Why have they gone to the ad break?
It's not the ad break. They're showing the teams.
Oh, okay.
It's the sizzle reel for all of the teams in
Unbelievable. Get on with it.
This is the further down it goes, the worse it's going to get, in it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that's actually fairly true.
Yeah, when you get to Maccabi Haifa, they're going to be like showing it like farmland in the background of the stadium and that.
Yeah, we want to be the first, second, or fourth out. After that, it's tough.
Yeah. So Terry's saying Adama for 10 million is great value. I think
it is
5 under contract. I think we should go back to Wolves, and we should offer them 45 million quid for Max Kilman and Adama Traore.
No. For Pedro Neto and
Adama get him Traore as well. Go on then. Yeah. Offer them 80 million quid for the 3. See what happens. Here we go, guys. First team's coming out.
Team.
Apparently Arsenal are going in for Pedro Neto, so I hope we steal that before they get anywhere near him.
He's a good player. I'd rather get that guy Neves from Wolves with the long hair. He's insane.
He's about 29 now, though, isn't he?
Don't care. He's so good. He is. Here we go. First team is out.
Tottenham. It's clearly going to be Tottenham.
Ajax versus Leipzig, is it?
Leipzig. Okay, is it?
Ooh.
You have your feet is a little bit ahead of mine. Leipzig. Okay.
Oh, we're going to get one of the big boys, aren't we?
Don't be Munich.
Oh no, it doesn't. Does it tell you immediately what pool they go into? It doesn't. No, I think now they've got to pick a. It's so this thing is overly complicated.
Oh, well, they're doing it where they draw the team and then draw the pot,
and then draw the group. Yeah, it has to go into either A, B, C, D, or E, F, G, H. It's so ridiculously complicated.
Oh, well, they can go against Bayern then.
This makes no sense to me whatsoever.
In Group F, Real Madrid against Leipzig. Here we go. That's interesting. At least we're not going to get Real Madrid. Hey,
Arriba.
That'd be a good game, Real Madrid Leipzig. Real good.
So what do we think? Probably not going to get Paqueta either now, are we?
They're going to West Ham, isn't he? He's going to West Ham.
Yeah, it's a weird one. We need another midfielder, though. If we're going to lose Paqueta, we better go after Milinkovic-Savic. He's the only midfielder that
I don't think we're going to get
than him.
Because they don't even look like we're going to get Ruslan now, does it?
Is he? Did he get injured or something? Is that what's the reason for that one?
He's going to Marseille now.
Oh, is he? Is that where he's going? Is it? Jesus Christ! I thought so. Juventus is the second team out. Yeah. Let's find out why this ridiculous thing. Now they're going to have to go and put them in which group? Juventus gets PSG.
Yes,
at least we avoided. Come on!
Go on!
Oh, Juventus.
We just
PSG.
want Bayern out of the way now.
Oh yeah, okay. So you know what? I'm excited that we're missing out on the big teams actually. So maybe that when it happens in real time, I realise how I really feel, which is give me the minnows. Let's go all the way. Maybe I was being brave earlier, saying no, fucking give me Bayern, give me Munich.
I mean, the nice thing is that once we've done the draw, then we kind of see who we might get in the next knockouts, don't we? So
this is us, guys. We're getting to Tottenham Hotspur. Who are we going to get?
Tottenham. Oh my days.
Come on. Who do we want?
Come on, Group B.
Come on, Porto. B. Come on.
Come on, B.
Go on.
You're going to know before I do, Sean.
I think it might be. Yeah, it must be A, B, C, or D. It is. It's A, B, C, or D. Just not Munich. Go on, not C. Not C.
A and B.
A.
Give me B. Give me B. Give me B.
Oh, it's Frankfurt.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll take that. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I take it.
Yeah.
I take it. Over City. Over City, over Milan, over Bayern, definitely. Frankfurt, definitely. Yeah. After Porto and Ajax, that would have been the next best thing anyway.
Yeah. No, I'll take Frankfurt.
In the knockouts, then we play one of the first 4 groups, doesn't it? We're in the first. It's the first 4, second 4, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I don't know how it works, mate. To be honest,
so in the theory of it, if the group winners won apart from us, obviously, because we're winning our group now.
Yeah,
it could be Ajax
we're winning our group now. It's a given.
I mean, obviously the Bayern's in our half of the group, but
is that so? Is it half? It's a half of the group. Is it? So
I'm just assuming, possibly. I don't know.
Anybody who understands the rules, who was listening to the rules in the pre-show, because it was so complicated, I think you need a bloody PhD to be able to work it out.
Normally that's how it goes, isn't it? You get the first 4 groups and then the second 4.
And it plays across. Yeah.
So in that sense,
So we'll be playing the winner of someone from C, B, or A. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the runner-up.
Liverpool are with Ajax in Group A.
Oh, we could get Liverpool in the round of 16.
Yeah.
So that means Chelsea will have to be in E, F, G, or H. So interesting. Oh, and they can't be in G. They'll be. Imagine if Chelsea get PSG and Juve. That'll be lovely. They probably will. They probably will.
But Chelsea are in our group, so in our pot, aren't they? So they.
But they can't be in A, B, C, or D. They have to be in E, F, G, or H, and they can't be in G. So they have to be in E, F, or H.
Can they not though? Could they not play Tuesday night if we're playing Wednesday?
Yeah. Well, I think
we need them to get drawn against Milan. I think they can only be drawn against Milan at this stage.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
I think they can only be drawn against Milan.
Yeah, you must be right about that. I don't, to be honest. I thought I did enough work on this earlier trying to figure it out, but
I would have thought they could be in our group, but they just can't play on the same night, maybe.
Yeah,
because I'm sure that's happened in the past.
Yeah, they can't be in.
But is it not red as Tuesday and blue as Wednesday? Or am I just making that up?
I don't know, mate. To be honest, let's speculate.
I think it changes every week, doesn't it? I thought you play one Wednesday, then one Tuesday, then one Wednesday, one Tuesday, don't you?
Oh, is that what it is?
So Barcelona are going to get how this works. Barcelona are going to get B or C. They have to be in B or C, which means Chelsea has to be against Milan. Yeah. Okay, so Chelsea's got Milan. That's interesting. And then Barca, go on, get Bayern Munich. Go on. Get C. Go for C. Yeah! Bayern Munich and Barcelona.
Oh, wow. Spicy.
That's it.
It's interesting to see that, like, which of all of these, you got to say the group of death is going to have to be Group C, isn't it? Like,
but I mean, City Sevilla in an easy group, is it?
No.
PSG Juventus is still
PSG Juve is a tough one as well.
Yeah. I think PSG Juve and then Bayern Munich Barcelona are the spicy groups. I don't think Man City are going to have too much of a problem against Sevilla.
Chelsea have to go in against Milan.
Bayern Munich Barcelona is the most interesting one for me.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
I mean, I suppose Barcelona depends whether they get the players registered, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, what's his name? Christensen and Frank Kessie could leave technically on a free transfer again. Yeah. Which is madness.
Would we snap him up?
Who, Christensen?
Kessie.
I'd take Christensen in a heartbeat. I'd take Kessie in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'll take both of them.
Chelsea, AC Milan.
Yeah, that was a given.
And so then it's Porto against, who's the last team?
Atletico
Madrid. Yeah. That's spicy as well.
So as things stand, folks, Group A, Ajax, Liverpool. Group B, Porto, Atletico. Group C, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. Group D, Frankfurt, Spurs. Group E, AC Milan, Chelsea. Group F, Real Madrid, Leipzig. Group G, Man City, Sevilla. And Group H, PSG, Juventus. I think that definitely for me, it's the exciting fixture there is Bayern versus Barcelona. Like right out the gate, you got two titans.
Yeah. I think PSG Juve is a tough one as well. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
If you look at our half of the draw now, Liverpool's in there. Atletico Madrid, it's not a team to be sniffed at. Bayern or Barca.
Yeah.
You know, it's becoming a hard half as well.
Well, let's quickly reflect on who's in pot 3 before they come to it. So we want to avoid
not Inter. Just not Inter, please.
Yeah, I'd rather steer clear of going too far. Shakhtar Donetsk is a tough place. I mean, they're playing in Poland, so I don't know if that's going to be a problem for them or whatever. I wouldn't mind Leverkusen. I think we could do a job against Leverkusen.
I don't know. I think Inter, Napoli, and Leverkusen.
Oh no, we can't. We can't get Leverkusen. We won't be able to get Leverkusen, and we won't be able to get Salzburg. Dortmund either, because they're German teams, and we've got Frankfurt. So we can't get Dortmund. We can't get Leverkusen. So it's going to be
Napoli, aren't we?
Yeah. Get Tanguy and Ndombele comes back.
Bring back Leon. Can he play against us?
I don't know. Someone else. What's his name? Delboy was asking that earlier. I don't know. I don't think you can play if you loan players out. I don't think you can play against.
I think it's whether we put the stipulation in, isn't it? If we're not expecting to draw them, then we wouldn't think of it. But surely somebody's looked at that.
Yeah, I'd imagine. No, I'd imagine that you wouldn't be able to play. I don't know. Actually, not entirely sure.
Benfica or Sporting.
Yeah, so we can't get those two teams. Let's find out. Pot 3 is up next. It's not Inter Milan.
You know it's going to be now.
This is going to be them now, isn't it? I can tell. First out of the hat, it's going to be Inter. Let's have a look. Who is it?
No, it'd be last, and we'll be last ones to be drawn.
Napoli.
I don't want Napoli either.
You don't want Napoli?
No, I mean they're not. I'd rather Napoli than Inter. I take Napoli now over Inter, but
Napoli finished 3rd in the Serie A last season on 79 points.
Yeah,
Napoli are strong.
Who's in their team? Let's have a look. Line up. Their last game they had. They got Osimhen, that amazing striker. Anyone recognise anybody else? Zielinski, Rui, Kim, Lorenzo. Yeah. Pot A. We've avoided Napoli.
We've avoided Napoli.
That's an easy draw for Liverpool, I think. Fucking Liverpool. It's such a fix. They always get a nice, easy run, don't they? Always.
Yeah, no, the way they're playing.
Tanguy Ndombele plays for them now as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had a good game, didn't he? You see that goal he scored? It was a screamer.
Was this recent?
Yeah. No, yeah, but it was against a 3rd division team.
Yeah, but it's still a good goal.
Yeah, it was a great goal, yeah. But the defence weren't they gave him all the time in the world.
Salzburg. Do we want Salzburg?
Yeah, Salzburg will take.
Where's that? They're Austria, aren't they, Salzburg?
Yeah,
so we can get them. Yeah, I'll take Salzburg all day long.
Yeah.
Go on. Give it to Group D.
Come on.
Come on. Group D, please. Give us a Group D.
D.
Put it out to the universe. Oh, no, it's E. AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg. Shit. I think we're going to get Inter, you know.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't speak it into existence.
I'll tell you what, if we do draw Inter, we better get Skriniar in quick.
Yeah. We need, yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can't loan him, can we? Imagine that if you go and loan Skriniar and then you can't play him and Ramiro's injured.
No,
Benfica's next. Would you take Benfica? Who have Benfica got these days? They sold their big striker, didn't they? They sold Nunes.
I'd take Benfica.
At this point, I'm like, definitely take anybody. Whoever comes up that isn't Inter, just give me them.
Yeah, I'll take Benfica. I don't recognise too many of their names. Group H.
I mean, it's an interesting comment off Kelvin there. You know, we're a Champions League team, but we think like a mid-league. No, I mean, there isn't a team in there that wants a hard group, is there? You know, everybody wants an easier group.
We have
That's
60
short of the
games. We have 60 plus games to get through the season. It's no like even Man City, Liverpool want to have easy rides going through the start of the Champions League.
Dortmund up next, can't be us.
You know when you start playing in the knockouts, you're going to get the top teams. So why not have an easier group? You want to get to the knockouts first. So I don't think it's thinking like a small team if you want to.
Sorry.
Shit.
What?
Are we? Oh no! Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm freaking out too early.
Oh, Adam.
No.
Kelvin's talking about Traore, not about the draw. He's in the he's talking to somebody else about the. But it's interesting because I was talking to Kelvin. Kelvin responded to it can't be Leverkusen either. I think we are going to be stuck with Inter because I think we're running out of teams we can be played against.
That would be just our luck.
Kelvin earlier said I think it was Kelvin in the comments on one of the videos. He responded immediately saying, "No, Sean, we want an easy route." And then as he then sent another message, I think it was Kelvin. It might not have been Kelvin, but I think it was. And then like 3 minutes later, he sends another message saying, "I've just actually listened to your whole video, and I actually agree with you. Let's play the big boys." And in the space of the last hour and a half, I've completely 180'd on myself.
I think it's one of those that if you're not going to get that easy group, you might as well have a group of death and play the big boys. You look at it both ways.
Sporting, come on, give that to us.
Sporting, we can get this. We can get Sporting.
Come on. Group D, come on.
They can only be Tottenham or they can only be in Group D or Group C. Come on.
Good.
Come on.
Give it to D.
Oh no, it can be. There's three groups. Three groups they can still be in.
Give me the D, baby.
They're just like a D to me. Yeah! Come on! Sporting. Let's have a look at Sporting. What have they done recently?
You know what? We're going to get an easier group, and we're going to come fucking bottom.
We are the. If you look at the thing, though, we are the easiest group of all so far. Like this is the easiest group that can possibly be.
It's always an easy group, and I tell you what, the easiest group generally, when if you've got teams that are pretty much the same, it's the hardest group to still get out of.
Yeah. That's a fucking winner, that is. Although, to be honest, so far I'm thinking there's like a couple of nice away trips to Portugal or whatever and to Germany, but it's not. That could be a Europa League group, couldn't it? In reality.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like we say, when it gets to the knockouts, you're going to get the big boys.
You get them anyway. Yeah.
Place, so, but I'd rather not. We run out of steam before we get to the big boys.
You've got to be honest, guys. There's no one in Group D that we're terrified of.
No,
I wouldn't mind getting a nice Celtic game now or Rangers. That'd be quite special. That one, I think we've done quite well.
So who's in the last pot now? Who can we get?
Inter are definitely going. Oh my days, where are they going?
Inter against Bayern and Barca.
That is outrageous. That is
my
group
God.
Of death and a half. So I told you,
Munich, Barcelona, and Inter Milan.
That was the group of death. That was the group of death before Inter were even in there, and now that's just insane.
That's amazing.
Nuts.
And the thing is, with them three, any one of those threes could come out of it, couldn't they?
Yeah, any of those three. That's so good. That's so good that at least one of those teams isn't going to be playing against us.
Well, two of them.
Or two of them won't be playing against us in the round of 16. And we're over to pot 4. Larg 99. We've got. I'll give it to Adam. Do you want to read out the group so far?
What we've got so far, folks. Group A is Ajax, Liverpool, and Napoli. Group B, we have Porto, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern Leverkusen. Group C, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan, also known as the Group of Death. Group D, Frankfurt, Spurs, Sporting. Absolutely delighted. Group E, AC Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg. Group F is Real Madrid, Leipzig, and Shakhtar Donetsk. Group G is Man City, Sevilla, and Borussia Dortmund. And Group H is PSG, Juventus, Benfica. It's really getting spicy now.
Unbelievable.
So this last pot, we really do have absolutely no preference, right? Like it is.
Tell you what, though, I mean, we're saying our group's not the hardest, obviously, but Real Madrid haven't got a bad draw so far, have they?
I don't know what Leipzig looks like right now. Leipzig are such a difficult team, but they have such a massive frequency of they have more turnover of players than like a McDonald's restaurant. You know, it's like they're just constantly shifting good players out, bringing in great players, and their next crop is there ready to go. So I don't know what.
I mean, if we sit here and say it's Real Madrid, you know, thinking of all the greatness that they're supposed to have, there isn't a team in there that, in theory, Real Madrid should be afraid of. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but, you know, if you're one of the big boys, Real Madrid's not got a bad group.
Yeah, Bayern Munich are sick. Bayern Munich are sick with the draw that they've got. They couldn't have got more unlucky. Man City have done fairly well, I think, although Seville's a tough team.
I mean,
PSG, yeah.
You know, I mean, Juventus could easily do that group so far. Liverpool, I suppose Liverpool aren't going to be looking at it too bad if they get the form back. I mean, they've got to start playing.
Yeah. They definitely need their form back, because right now they're absolutely rubbish, but they should win that group. Liverpool.
I'll tell you what, though, right?
Chelsea will come second.
Frankfurt are probably just as happy as we are.
Yeah.
You know, so will Sporting Lisbon. Like, Sporting Lisbon will be going, how the hell did we get that?
You don't look at it and think we're going to get hammered by any of the teams, but you also look at it and think we could lose. But, you know, it's going to be a far more equal draw for us than any of the other groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And we absolutely made it so much more. We've got it easier than all the other English teams.
Yeah.
By far.
I mean, that's the group so far you're going to be very disappointed of not coming out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I mean, you look at the others and you think we're probably going to look at runners-up places. Our group, to me, we you know, personally, we should be winning that group so far.
Yeah, I think we should
absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
I think we should.
And considering the last pot is not really full of teams you'd wet your pants at, I think we should be winning that group.
Here we go. Marseille, we could go to Tottenham, could get put in Group D. I don't know if Marseille are a good team or not, to be honest. I don't know who's in Marseille's team. Let's have a look. Where the Marseille
we've been going for players from Marseille.
That's it. Marseille's ours. Wow. We got Marseille.
So they came second in Ligue 1, didn't they?
Let's have a look. Marseille.
So they came behind PSG, if I remember.
Yeah. PSG. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, so Marseille, let's have a look at their players. In terms of market value, their most expensive player is Guendouzi. Matteo Guendouzi. They got.
I don't think that group of ours is that bad. I think that's a good group for us. I really do. And if you look at it, we ain't traveling very far.
No.
Yeah, Germany,
France, and Portugal.
And Portugal. That's lovely. That's lovely, boys. I'll take that.
I definitely take that. Marseille are probably the most difficult team in that last group.
In Group D, yeah.
But you would easily take them just to get the other two teams that we got.
100%.
Yeah. Be interesting to see if there's anybody in the chat that doesn't think we're going to come out of that group.
Let us know in the comments, folks. Let us know in the chat. Do you think that we survive this group? Do you think we come out on top?
I wonder if the odds have just changed since in the last 5 minutes since the teams have been picked out. I reckon that the odds on Inter have just dropped massively. Great
comment from Nicholas. Farmers League, definitely. We're going through. we'll be ploughing up the games.
Gotta be happy with that, says Scotty. Absolutely, my man. How is home and away date sorted? I don't know. I was thinking about, because I know people from the We Are Tottenham TV team, Ben and Sim, they were saying on the WhatsApp group, literally as soon as the draw comes out, they'll be booking their flights. And I was like, well, I might try and get some flights and go over, even if I can't get a ticket, just to be, depending on, I won't go to Marseille. I don't think Marseille's a bit of a, from what I've heard, it's not the nicest place. But Benfica would be nice. Go to Portugal in October, play a bit of golf.
I mean, the thing with that is, as it falls into our typical Tottenham mentality. We're going to win the cup now.
The quad is on.
Quad is on.
Quad is on.
That's going to stop us. Bloody hell! We get past them three teams. like thing he says is the pub teams them. You know, get Ajax in the next round because they're going to knock Liverpool out. Then we'll play Atletico Madrid. Yeah.
Marseille speaks very highly about me. Listen, you know, it is what it is. I've said it now. I can't take it back. I wouldn't go to Marseille for a night out.
I mean, the interesting one there with Derek, he's just said, hope we play better. Look, we didn't want to win the conference. That was the point. We weren't interested in that. So, you know.
Oh, dear.
As much as we don't
Where are
think
Rangers going to go?
So, where we got to so far. Celtic are in Group F.
Imagine Rangers went into Group C.
Group A.
Oh, they got A.
Oh, Liverpool Rangers.
Wow.
They don't they hate each other, Liverpool and Rangers, because one of them's like Catholic and one of them's
Liverpool
Protestant.
has the Celtic connection, yeah. They both sing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah, okay.
They both sing the Fields of Athenry.
So Liverpool Rangers, there'll be trouble with that again, for sure. That's a good draw for Liverpool. That is a really good draw for Liverpool. It's the best draw for Tottenham, though. Who's that? Can't even see that one. Dynamo Kiev.
They're
obviously playing. They'll probably be playing somewhere in Poland as well. They are going to be in. Doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter.
Everything else now is out of our hands. So it doesn't matter who's in where now.
But it's just going to be interesting to see who ends up in Group C with those absolute titans, because they're just going to get savaged.
Who's the best team in Group? AC Milan. Oh, so Dynamo have gone into Group E. Oh, you hope it's not Celtic. Celtic would just get absolutely destroyed if they go into Group D.
Yeah, but the other way to look at it now is they get them big nights. They've got them big nights.
Oh, Celtic are already done, aren't they? Yeah, true. Sorry. Yeah, that's a good point, Soren. Yeah, they've got big nights out. Nothing to play for. Celtic are going to Donetsk, Germany.
And Real Madrid.
That'd be nice for them. Celtic against Madrid, that would be lovely.
Didn't they play Real Madrid a few years? And great. No, Barca won it. Yeah, Barca several years ago.
I thought didn't Rangers go to Spain recently last season to play in the who was it against Seville in the Europa League semi-final?
Sevilla won it, yeah.
Or quarter-final? I forget how they played.
Where's Maccabi Haifa going? Group?
They're going to get Group C.
H.
Group H.
So
who's left to pick?
I don't even know how to pronounce that team's name, to be honest. I don't know who they are.
So
is it Victoria Plzeň or Victoria?
That's the
team from
Victoria.
From
the Czech.
From the Czech league.
Yeah.
Jesus. Imagine that they qualify for their first Champions League or whatever, and they go, "Who are we going to get?" Oh shit!
Everybody.
No, the thing is with that, if you are a team like that, then if you went into the Group F, it's not actually a bad.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for them, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like the FA Cup when you know the lower teams always want one of the big boys because it's the nights out for them, whereas we want to try and press a little bit. So
this is true. They just get to have all of the
memories. Yeah,
the memories of playing against Bayern, Barcelona, and Inter, and it's from 3 different countries as well. You're playing some of the top teams from 3 different top leagues.
Look, I mean, if this was our first year into the Champions League for a long time, then to me, I'd want those big nights.
Same.
To me, I'm looking at it a little bit more. I want to go further in the competition.
Optimistically, yeah.
And the amount of money that you get from winning the group stage games, I think you get like 1.2 million in prize money for every game that you win. Yeah. Tottenham have got maybe 6 games that they can win there. Imagine if we just go and get 18 points from 18 points, just smash them to pieces, and then go and get drawn against, I don't know, Club Bruges in the last 16.
Everything's possible, isn't it?
When do they decide the fixture dates?
Well, we've got the actual days. The days are here.
Yeah, but when do we? We don't know who we're playing though, right? Like,
they'll do another draw now, won't they? Might not be tonight, but
let's have a look. How long is it? I'm sure we'll find out. It goes on until 6:45. The draw carries on. The draw carries on.
They might do the fixtures tonight then. I mean, it might be a simple thing of saying the first and the second teams play first, second, third and fourth, second, and swap it, you know. So
I don't know, to be honest. I've got no idea. But I tell you what, I am absolutely fucking delighted. Do you want to call it? Do you want to read out the final? Oh, here we go. When are the group games? They're talking about it on the.
I'll tell you what, Sean. Have you got a picture of the cup we'll be bringing home?
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
You get some blue and white straight ribbons on it.
Yeah, guys, I don't know how I'm excited. I think. Do you think this adds a little bit more pressure now? Like, do you think that this, or does this? How does this change your opinion on the on the need for signings, etc.? Does this Daniel Levy rub his hands together, thinking there's 30 million in prize money there, and now the need to go and sign a 40 million quid centre back isn't quite as desperate?
I think that Conte's made it very, very clear that for every player that goes out, we need a player in. So the fact that we've already lost Lo Celso and Ndombele, I think there are 2 players coming in before the window closes. Yeah, definitely.
He said that since they've gone, Andy.
No.
I thought they'd already been agreed by the time he came out and said that.
But I think it makes no odds. Like those players, we've players missing from the team now.
Yeah, but I think it was a case of there was the 4, weren't there, basically, and Ndombele, Lo Celso, Winks, and who's your Regulon. They're the 4 that can go, and any more that go after that, I think that's when the way he was talking. I mean, I could be wrong, but the way he was talking.
But either way, they will go. You know what I mean? They will go. We're going to lose at least 2 of the remaining players, at least, if not all of them.
The thing is, I mean, if we want to be optimistic, is this all now a big smokescreen as to we're trying to get some deals done and we just want people to think that, that we have to get people out now to get people in? It's one of those, who knows with Tottenham anymore?
Nick Collison saying Saint Maximin, Traore, and 1 more. I don't know how much do you think we pay for Saint Maximin? 70 million? I think that's pretty what he's worth, isn't it?
70 million. No.
I tell you what, I think that's what we'd have to pay for him.
I think you have to pay a lot of money for him.
Yeah, I do. And to be honest with you, there's other players out there that I'd rather get in first.
I'd love to have St. Maximin and Traore. I would absolutely love the 2 of them. And I really would. They would be lethal.
Imagine them both on the pitch at the same time. One on the right, one on the left.
The only reason you want Traore is to equalise out the argument between Pierre and Traore. So I'm going to be for Pierre, you're going to be for Traore, and it'll just carry on every week having an argument about how crap they were.
No, I genuinely, I all cards on the table. People talk about FIFA signings and that. Like, I genuinely have signed St. Maximin and Traore in my Spurs team on FIFA. So I would actually, I think they would be incredible. They would genuinely be incredible in the squad.
I still think the most important signing above all of those, I still think a centre back to give competition or even to improve on Eric Dyer is more important than anything else.
I think the centre back realistic, and I know I said this already on the Spurs drive-by yesterday, but I think that centre back is 3rd on the list. I think another winger and another central midfielder are way more important. Has
ASM got a £38 million release clause? I didn't know that.
See, I knew it would be 40 or 50.
So for 50 million quid, we could go shopping with 50 million quid and come home with a muscular, oil-ridden size.
2 automobiles.
Unbelievable. Trucks in. That would be absolutely insane. Yeah, he said, I believe St. Maximin's got a £40 million buyout clause.
Yeah, there you go. Seriously. 50 million, buy the 2 of them. And then also buy Milenkovic-Savic, and you're absolutely sorted.
But we're not getting them 3.
No, you're not going to get Milenkovic-Savic as well.
No, probably not.
I think you're either getting Milenkovic or.
But what's that other lad that we're going for at the moment from Atalanta?
Ruslan.
Yeah, what's his surname? Ruslan
Malinovsky. Ruslan Malinovsky.
Yeah, Malinovsky. There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
If we got him and those two, and a centre back.
Yeah,
we're winning everything.
Tottenham want to look at a loan so we can get him on a free, don't they? Because he's literally got 1 year left, and that's why they're after the loan to buy. Because then you release him, he's on a free, and we sign him in January if we've got him.
But that's why they won't do that. But he should be, if he's got 1 year left on his contract, he should be cheap. Just fucking buy him.
Look, they're talking about 18 million, aren't they, roughly? So
it's worth it. So you could spend 70 million and you get 3 savage players. You get Maximum Traore and him for 70 million.
You get him, and then you get Milinkovic-Savic. If we got them two in, bloody hell. Or, if you got him and Perisic. Not Perisic, Paqueta.
I think he's going to West Ham now, isn't he? Looks like he's flown in for a medical at West Ham, I believe.
Yeah, but it's still not. Look, Chelsea did it to us,
Yeah, and of course, why would he stay at West Ham? Look like they're going to go down at this rate. So, what if Tottenham did come in for him?
Yeah, it's another one of those things that if we don't try and get him, I just don't understand it. I really don't.
Have you seen this, guys? The latest rumor, according to Transfer Market, is Ronaldo's going back to the team that we've just drawn. Can you imagine?
Last time we played him, he scored a hat-trick against us.
This is the team. This is the team organised by market value that we got to play against Sporting Lisbon. Pedro Goncalves, not too familiar with him. Left wing back. Pedro Porro, right back, really good player. Really, I think Tottenham might have even looked at him in the summer.
We might be looking at him more now. Get a few of their players in.
Yeah, Pedro. He's a young. So I think he's like 20 or 21 years old. Gonzalo Ignacio's good player, centre back. Don't know who Quinchao is. Don't know who Jeremiah St. Just is. Marcus Edwards. Was he ex Manchester United? Who did he used to play for? Marcus Edwards.
Trincão played for Wolves, didn't he?
Oh, he's Tottenham.
Yeah, he's that young lad in Vowers, isn't it?
Oh, of course.
Had all the promise, but attitude was wrong or something under Poch.
And we let him go for a free transfer, and then they sold him that team sold him to Sporting Lisbon for £7 million.
Went to Germany, didn't he?
I don't know what that team is. That's Portuguese team, Guimarães. I don't know who they are. That's mad. Marcus Edwards coming up. He'll get us to score the winner. Ex-Tottenham boy scores the winner to break our hearts. Who else they got in their team? Marcus Edwards, Manuel Ugarte.
Francisco Trincão was really good, by the way. Like he was playing for Wolves up until this season.
Was he?
Yeah, very, very good player.
To be honest, I don't recognise most of those.
I don't see it. I don't see them getting Ronaldo. Not unless he's going to seriously drop his wages as well.
Can you imagine? That was his home club, wasn't it? Maybe he's just going to go home to finish his career off.
How do you can Sporting afford 2 million a month for Ronaldo's wages?
But would he want that much money if he's just going to see out his career? And you know what? He's probably looking at that Champions League draw and going, I could win the Champions League with Sporting with this season. Look at that draw. Tottenham Hotspur. I'll go and put 3 past them. Do the damage against Frankfurt.
Yeah, finish his career going back to his home team.
Yeah,
in the Champions League.
It's quite a dream, isn't it? It's quite a dreamy story. God, please don't. Please do not. I'd rather he stayed at Man United than leave if he's going to go to Sporting.
The thing is, though, unless he goes on a free, I can't see them getting him.
No.
And I don't see Man United letting him go on a free.
Well, Man United might let him go. Man United only have to spend 30 million to terminate his contract, and they might actually think they're better off terminating his contract than anything else at the moment. They genuinely are.
Hadn't he come out and said he's in his plans anyway?
Well, who?
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said nothing's changing on that front. But somebody else, I think it was Bruno Fernandes said.
Nothing to do with it, though.
Yeah, I think Fernandes said at the end of the game against Liverpool, he said, "I do know the future of Ronaldo, but I'm not going to be the one to spoil it."
Yeah.
So which suggests to me that he's probably going to leave. Boys, we got a new member on the channel, RAI Ray. I'm not sure how to say it, man, but I really appreciate your generosity and support of the channel. You have become a Spurs Talk Show puppy. Very much appreciate that, my man. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, get yourself over to the community page on the channel, and you'll find my telephone number in it. Just reach out to me on WhatsApp and let me know that you are who you are, and I will add you to the Spurs Talk Show WhatsApp group where we talk about things when we're not streaming. Really appreciate the support, my man. Welcome aboard. That's awesome. Guys, if you do want to join as a member, the link is underneath the stream. Hit the join button. 2 options. You can become the puppies or the ponies, and you get access to all of the post-game phone-in shows and access to the WhatsApp group and all the other stuff, all the other goodies that come with being a member of the channel. I really appreciate the support. So we've looked at Sporting Lisbon. Let me catch up with the chat. Let me see what some people are saying here. Hello, United Spurs America. When are you on next? Missing your podcasts every Friday. What's happening, Jacob? Good to see you, my man. When are the fixtures decided? I don't know if they're have they actually updated them? It said after the thing, it did say that, here we go, the full fixture list for the group stage will be revealed after the draw, but UEFA has confirmed the match day date. So I've already shown you the dates, but the actual fixtures are confirmed, I guess, at some point today, but there's nothing live on the screen anymore. They're showing women's football now. So I don't know if they're going to actually announce that, or maybe we can find it.
I think it'll just be something that'll come up, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll just be something that's announced at some point.
Okay. Let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen, at our other teams we're playing against. Let me see if we recognize any of the names. We have... Who else we got? So we've looked at Sporting. Let's also have a look-see at...
Frankfurt.
Olympic Marseille. I will say Frankfurt for the end. Olympic Marseille. Anyone recognize his players? Guendouzi is a good player. He used to play for Arsenal, didn't he? He did.
Guendouzi.
Yeah. I imagine that. I think he's Turkish. I think he's a midfielder. He's gone out there. Who's this guy? Senshig Under. Don't know who he is. He's used to play for Roma. So these 2 players they've signed in this season. They've also signed Jordan Veritaut. I think he's Dutch or French. Chancel Mbemba. Don't know him. Don't know where he's come from. I don't recognise it. Jonathan Klaus, I remember, but I don't know. He's about 30 years old now, isn't he? Apart from that, I don't really recognise any of these guys. Do you guys recognise any of these players?
I mean, there's a couple on there that are not bad players, but they're. I don't think it's a team that we should be afraid of. Definitely not.
Alexis Sanchez. That's the ex-Inter player.
Yeah, 33.
Ah, he's a good player. He's a very good player. Isaac Toure, do I recognise him? No, he's 19. I don't recognise him. Dimitri Payet, he used to play in the Premier League, didn't he?
35, it could be him, yeah. Yeah.
He used to play for West Ham, yeah. There you go. There's a couple of players there to worry about. I don't think there's anything too much.
As Tottenham fans, we should be buzzing over that draw.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, I get that everybody wants one of those big teams to watch, the glory days, but I think it's about getting out of that group. Once we're out of that group, we'll get the big guys. So let's just be positive. And, if people aren't positive over that draw, then we're knackered, aren't we?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
And then the last team, obviously Frankfurt, Evan and Dicker, the big player, the player that we should have probably signed, left-sided centre-back, amazing player, very, very tall, very, very good in the air, good with his delivery, distribution. I've done a whole bunch of research and analysis on him before. Jibril So, talented player. Kamada, the Japanese fella, attacking midfielder, very tricky. Jesper Lindstrom, is he from Denmark, I think?
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is,
Frankfurt,
Frankfurt are there from winning Europa League, aren't they? So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's a step up for them. Yeah,
yeah. Because did they beat Rangers?
They beat Rangers in the final. They beat Rangers in the final.
Rangers, yeah. So I mean, And if again, you've got to give them a bit of respect for winning that cup, but they're not a team we should be afraid of.
Oh, that was it, mate. When we were saying earlier about Rangers playing in Spain, they played against Frankfurt in Spain. It was Spain was where the final was held, wasn't it? In Madrid, I think it was. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we should be afraid of them. And they've lost their biggest player. Let's see who have they. Where am I going here?
Look, these are the nights where Kane, Sonny, Cooley. These are the nights they want to play. So this is where now they've got to come up and do the job. If they do the job and we're on form, unless we get some serious injuries, we're coming out of that group. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win the group. I think we're absolutely going to smash the group.
If we don't,
honestly,
if we don't win that group now, there is something seriously wrong.
In fact, I think that the latest rumor here, one of their best players, according to the market value at least, Djibril Sow, looks like he's going to go to Forest. How many players have Forest signed this season?
I know, it's mental.
20?
Forest and Fulham are doing some pretty good work in the transfer market, in fairness to them.
Let's have a look at this. Nottingham.
They just need to get Regulon now from us, don't they?
Fulham, yeah, they do seem to be after him.
Forest are after them, are they?
Forest are after Regulon,
Forest and Fulham are both after him.
Yeah. And then Winks, it's either Sampdoria or someone in. Is Forest after Winks as well?
Yeah, I think there's like 20 teams in England that have said that they're interested in Winks, but nothing ever materialises.
Yeah.
I thought Winks was getting pushed out to Sampdoria, wasn't he?
Well, I think there's a bit of interest now. There's a few teams seem to be coming in for him, so it wouldn't surprise me that he ends up in England still.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if someone like Forest come up with a bit of money for them both and buy them outright rather than. But I did see something earlier saying Regulon might be staying now, but I don't know. I didn't fully read the article.
Yeah, I saw that as well. That's peculiar. Yeah. He's not going to get played.
No.
Forest has spent 130 million quid and only got 6 million coming that have come in. And they might be going after that guy Sow as well. Djibril Sow.
They're just spending to try and stay in the Premiership, aren't they?
I'll tell you what though, they've done some really good business. Like Jesse Lingard's on a free transfer is a really good player. Koyate is a good player from Crystal Palace. I love that guy, the Watford fella. Where is he?
I mean, they haven't bought stars, but what they've done is they've bought a tough team. Now, they've got to get him to gel now.
Emmanuel Dennis. Yeah,
they're not going to win the league, but it could be enough to keep them in there and keep them pretty much out of problems. Forest signed 272 players.
I'll tell you what, Tom Marcannon, incredible draw, easiest we could get. Completely agree, my man. I don't know if there's too much more to want to talk about, guys. Like, what are your thoughts? Final thoughts? Is there anything else we can discuss? Do you want to carry on talking for a little while, or we can?
All right.
Yeah. Adam, what are your? Let's move away from the Champions League stuff then until we've got the fixtures come out, or the dates, and then we can talk about how that's gonna. Are they doing it now? I'm not sure if they're doing it now or not.
At the moment, they're handing out awards, so they may.
Oh, is it awards? Okay, fuck that then.
No, we'll not be in that then, will we?
They'll probably just announce it at a different point.
Yeah, I think it'll be probably later on or a couple of days' time. But I mean, talking of things, then I don't know if I heard it right or where I heard it, but there was all this talk of the 150 million, and then a lot of it's been spent on the ladies' team or something, isn't it?
I've heard about that. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. Is it?
No, it can't.
I don't know. I just wondered if anybody had any updates because I mean, it's kind of getting a little bit sad where people still think we've got this 150 million pounds to spend on the transfer, and swearing blind that it was said that we'd got it, but I mean, it's never actually been said, has it? So.
We only took £100 million of the 150 so far. The other 50 still there to be taken if we want it, and I think it has to be taken by.
It's got to be taken out, hasn't it? But doesn't mean we've got to spend it. That's the
No, exactly. Yeah.
I think a lot of people seem to be saying that it's got to be spent by December the 31st, and it doesn't. It's just got to be withdrawn basically from the shares.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's just that the reason why they took it out in two tranches of the three that they can take it is obviously it just affects their taxation policies and what they have to do with their accounting at the end of the year. It affects the dilution of the of those small minority shareholders, and it affects the price at which they get those shares. So if they do want the other 50 million, but I mean, to be honest, like I think also a lot of people forget, like they don't factor in. I remember back in the start of the summer, everyone was going, so we've got the 150 million. Now we've got, and I was probably guilty of doing the same. In fact, I definitely was. So I'm not calling anyone out because I was probably just as bad at doing it. But then, then whatever was the initial budget anyway, let's make up a number and say that's 50 million quid. Then all the player sales that we can get, and people were calling out, well, we can get 25 million for Reguilón, 30 million for Bergwijn. We could probably get 30 million for Sanchez. We could probably get like all of this nonsense adding up of fictitious money. And then going, there's probably 130 million quid's worth of player sales there, which if you add all that stuff up, we might have a budget of 300 million pounds. In reality, apart from Cameron Carter's Vickers and which you got, I think, 5 bar for, and Bergwijn. Yeah. But Bergwijn wouldn't have been paid off in one go. They'll be paying that off over like 5 years or whatever. Yeah. In reality, we've made, I think we sold 30 million quid's worth and bought 80 million quid's worth, or 90. We're net about 60 million quid. But we did have to pay for Romero. Like that's been finalised. I think we've also probably
have to Reguilón, haven't we?
We still got to pay for Reguilón. We haven't paid a penny for him yet. We probably also had to figure out that some of that money is going to go for factoring in Kulusevski at some point. And
next season.
Yeah, but it might be next season. But like when all that money gets, like the reason why they probably organised the valuation of that 150 million quid now is probably just factoring all that stuff in for cash flow. Plus, we had to pay 50 million quid in short-term player liabilities, which I remember calling out in when I went through the financial results last season. There was 50 million quid in short-term player liabilities that were like still owed at the end of this summer, still owed for like half a dozen players that we hadn't finished paying off yet. People like probably Lo Celso, people like Ndombele, people like Davinson Sanchez. And so when you add all that stuff up, when you factor in the little money that we've got in player sales, and when you factor in all of the short-term liabilities and the cost of Romero, maybe the factoring in of, I don't think it's about the money getting given towards the women's football, because whilst I respect the women's football, I don't think it's that expensive a system yet. Like the players don't cost anything. People were saying it's for the training ground, but don't the women's team train at Hotspur Way as well?
I don't know. I will be honest, I don't know, but
I don't believe they do.
No,
I don't think so. I think they have their own training ground, as far as I'm aware.
Where do they play at White Hart Lane?
Yeah, I think they do, don't they?
An empty White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
If you ever watch the games, the stands are pretty bare. I don't know. It's like a lot. I know there's a lot of clubs that don't play that have the women's team play in the main stadium. I don't know if we're one of them or not. I've watched one of the women's highlights and can't remember whether it was in the stadium.
The Hive. They play at the Hive. Cheers, Nick. Appreciate that, mate.
There you go.
I think did we not have to pay Bentancur as well?
No, we bought Bentancur.
We paid him off. Yeah, I think we paid for that.
That was a loan to buy.
What's that, mate? Say again.
Bentancur was loan to buy, wasn't he?
No, we paid for him up front. That was a permanent transfer.
Him up front. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, I think I don't understand why there still isn't money there, because I mean, we haven't really spent a lot, have we? But they train at the golf course.
Eugene, he's got his back contact. No, he's still got his Enoch out on his banner. Listen, guys. I mean, look, we've got an amazing draw. We've got 6 days left now to get a lot of business done. I don't know if it's possible to get as much business done as we need to do. We've still got to find, Paratici's one man, and if him and his team, I don't know how many people he's employed now, 2 or 3 others to help him. His number 2, his number 3. Do you really think it's plausible to be able to organise in the next 6 days the outgoings of Harry Winks, of Japhet Tanganga, of Serge Reguilón, and was there a 4th player?
Brian Hill is already a done deal That's a done deal with Valencia. The only reason the only reason he hasn't gone is because we're looking to replace him first.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if in the next 24, 48 hours we had a Brian Hill replacement.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I think a lot of it at the moment is if we're to believe the way Paratici works, a lot of anybody that we're going to get in could possibly be virtually done. It's just finalising it. There'll still be one or two deals that we'll look at late on in the window. We know that, the last day will be named. We'll probably be linked to bloody Maradona somehow still. But Damiao, what was it? Damiao from
Who's that?
The one from about 5-6 years ago where it was every single window.
We've had a few of them, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, no, he knows we'll sell Ndombele and buy the bugger back as well, because he'll have a good season somewhere. But no, I still think we'll get one or two in. Whether they're going to be the big names that we all want, I don't know. But there's got to be money still somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sorry, and I think Tom's saying so. We have no money left to spend. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I don't think any of us have any real clue of what the actual budget is. I think we were all speculating. Hi, Nick, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Hi, Nicky.
Good draw, right? Great draw.
Very, very good draw. I'm just checking what. Hang on.
Are you?
He's trying to buy hotel rooms on Airbnb for all the different locations.
Mate, the hotel room's already booked, mate. So if those people want to believe and come on this train, then there's rooms booked, mate. There's rooms booked.
How many rooms did you book in Istanbul? You booked 6 rooms in Istanbul.
6 doubles for 12 people.
Oh my days!
£1,200 for 4 nights. Right, so if anyone's telling me that's not good business, then
I might go anyway. Like even if it's like Rangers against Chelsea or something in the final, I still wouldn't mind being out there. It'd be a good time.
We should do what we should do is we should then do a coach trip, right, and just go through the whole of Europe and drive for 3 days.
You can just imagine, can't you, at the final, just a big pocket of Spurs fans.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to do it. Did you see the group? We thought we were going to make it.
I'll just stood there with those tinfoil cups.
Yeah. Hashtag leave you out when we get dumped out in the first round. Just quickly before we get back on track, I do want to move on a little bit. Then, so Tom, not saying we haven't got any money. I got no idea how much money we have to spend. You would imagine that there should be money available, but whether there's 80, 90 million quid to get those 3 or 4 players in.
The only thing we know for sure is that Conte said that for every player that goes out, we get a player in, and if Conte wants it, I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to get. So,
but was he saying that because we already had 4 players too many, right? We had Lo Celso, Ndombele, Winks, and Reguilon.
I think those were the 4. I honestly think you forget those 4, but any players after them fair enough. If Winks don't go and we sell somebody else, then I think they will. But the way I understood it was that them 4 are already out of the ranking.
Okay.
And the other thing though is that Brian Hill is definitely his deal. His deal is done. Yeah.
If Hill's done, then we only have 5 recognised forwards. So.
And I think if Tanganga goes, that's another one we're going to replace.
Yeah.
Who's that? If who goes? Sorry.
Tanganga,
yeah. If Tanganga and Hill goes, we'll definitely
apparently we're looking at Guehi from Crystal Palace to replace Tanganga, and then we're looking for obviously a winger to replace Hill. The only thing I'm concerned with is that I don't like we're talking about Gordon and James as the 2 potential incomings to replace Hill, and I don't think either of those would be palatable.
I mean, if you look at it though, all these that we're getting linked to a lot, we're not getting. It's those that we're not linked to that almost you want to believe are going to come in.
That's true. The the ones that come out of nowhere.
Yeah, those that are literally bang done it. I mean, you look at Udoji. I mean, he was literally a few days, and by then it was done.
I really wish we were keeping him. I really wish we didn't send him straight back on loan.
I don't think we'd have got him if we didn't. That's what they want.
Udoji.
Yeah. Udinese were insistent, I guess, that they keep him on loan for one season.
It's almost a shame we couldn't have done it where we got Adoji in and sent Sessegnon out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would have been a nice little deal. But does it look like we're keeping Sarr then?
Well, I was going to ask you about that in just a second, but before we move on, just want to shout out. I don't know how to say. Is it? I'm going to call you Ray, RAI. But I really appreciate this. The super sticker. It is just a fox or a cat doing like a thumbs up and a happy face, happy smiley face. Thank you so much for the support, my man. Really appreciate it, buddy. Very generous of you, and thanks again for becoming a member of the channel, mate. Really nice to have you around. Nick, I'll come to you first on that one, mate. Great little transition. Udoji was someone that we signed and then let back out. We did the same thing last season to Mets with this guy, Pape Sarr. He hasn't featured. I don't think he's been on the bench, let alone featured in the league this season. Do you think he might be someone that, again, we loan out? And if we do, does that mean we're going to go after a midfielder as well?
Yeah, I think. Look, I think Adam was right. I was trying to remember the third one when I said earlier when I said send Maximum, Traore, and one other, and Gray's the one other. I think Sarr is going out, and I think. Look, I think yes. I think for 40 million, with that clause in his contract, whether or not Newcastle want him to go or not, he had a blinder against City, and he's someone that could absolutely add something different to what we are. So I think we go and drop 40 million. They're not gonna. If you look at the other teams that are in the Champions League, he's not going to go to City. He's not going to go to Liverpool. Chelsea, 40 million is too cheap for them. So yeah, I think we should just go and do that. Go and do that deal. Look, I think Adama as well. I think the Spence one is proving to be what we all thought it was going to be, and one for the future. And it looks like he's going to be in the under-23s for whatever reason. And yeah, we do need a centre backup, and in terms of English. And
is that your microphone, Nick? It's really scratchy. Is it you playing with a microphone or something?
No. I'm not playing with anything.
Oh yeah.
So look, yeah, I think Sarr goes out on loan again, and that's the kind of thing that Paratiti's done, right? He's got these youngsters in on loan, or sign them young and then sending them out on loan, or developing them and getting them ready. So that to me says that Conte is staying for a long time, because he wouldn't necessarily, the next big thing is going to be what happens with Conte. I don't think Kane's not going to go anywhere. I think he will be the Steven Gerrard. He won't go anywhere now. He had his chance 2 years ago, but all that this is pointing to is that these players and what they're trying to do is that Conte is going to be here after this season. And
so you think Conte is going to sign a new contract this year, this in 2022?
Yeah,
extension. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was in between. I wouldn't be surprised if we head into in the next few games. In the next few games, we've got obviously Forest Sunday, West Ham in the week. We end up, then Fulham the week after. I wouldn't be surprised if he signs it in between that World Cup break, goes away.
I was going to say, I think it'll be while the World Cup's on. If there's any development with Conte, he'll look at what we've done in the transfer window. He'll look at where we're sitting in the league, see how we're doing. If we're out of the cups and we're out of top four contention by then, he's not staying, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I've said this for quite some time now, that if you look at how we're building the team and how we're building the youngsters, and I know a lot of people don't like it when you talk about we're building a team again, but when he's telling Levy and that we want Udoji, and I know Spence isn't his, but, you look at Spence and you look at one or two of the other, Basuma, we're building a young team with a couple of older players in there. And I know we should be looking at winning it now. We all agree that. We all want to win something now. But everybody, in a sense, has to settle down at some point. So why not Conte with Tottenham? Why not look at him for a long term? you just hope that, as long as, and I think he's always come out and said that as long as the team, or as long as the club doesn't lie to him, he'll stay. And this is why he's left on the others, because he's believed he's been lied to. So as long as Daniel Levy isn't coming out saying we're going to buy you all the top players and then doesn't, and I do see him staying for 2 or 3 seasons at least and seeing where we might be next year. Because if you look at the youngsters we have bought, Happy Say, he's just won African Player of the Year or something, Anti, or
African Young Player of the Year.
Yeah, and then Udoji, they're 2 great players. If Jed Spence comes right in a year or 2, that's another young player. Sessegnon could still come right. I know some of us don't think he will, but he's every chance. Kulu's 22, 23.
Yep.
There's a lot of those players are around that 20.
Ollie Skip.
Yeah, 24, 25 year and younger. That could be a bloody damn good team in a year or 2's time.
100%. 100%.
I know you're not the biggest fan of Richarlison, but he's got 6 or 7 years in front of him. If he starts to come good now, in theory, he hasn't reached his peak.
It's actually another great transition from you, Soren, mate. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the Nottingham Forest game whilst we're here. Before we do, guys, there's 78 people, 80 people watching. If you're happy with the Champions League draw, if you like the draw, can you like the video for me? Try and get up to 80 likes if we can. It'd be lovely to have 1 like for every person who's currently here. Just smash that like button. It would mean the world to me and to help the channel grow. I'll start with you on this one, Soren. On this one, quickly, mate. Not quickly. Take as much time as you want. What's your thoughts on Richarlison? I know you said that I wasn't as big a fan of him. I'm not a big fan of him as a player. I like him as a player. I just didn't like the 60 million quid price tag. Just like I don't also like the idea of spending 50 million quid on Anthony Gordon or any of that stuff. If you're not going to play, then what's the point of absorbing all that budget? I'd rather we kept our powder dry. If we can't find a centre-back in this window that meets the expectations or the standards that Conte wants, I'd rather not go and blow money on players that are only going to play 10, 15% of minutes and spend all that money, because thus far, the only thing that's changed is last season, Kulusevski was always the first player to get hoiked in the 70th minute for Lucas Moura. Even though Lucas Moura didn't deserve as many minutes as Bergwijn, Lucas Moura got the extra game time because Kulusevski had more brownie points, in my opinion, saved up, and Conte didn't want to upset the apple cart with our 2 best players. And so, at best, Conte only gave 2 or 3 minutes to Bergwijn. This season, Sonny seems to be the guy who's getting hooked in the 75th minute, and Kulusevski seems to stay on the pitch longer, which I think personally reflects the difference in performances, but it doesn't go quite far enough for me. I'm not saying or criticising Sonny. I love him to pieces. He's the best player. He's earned everybody's respect. He's an absolute legend. He'll go down as a legend for Tottenham, whatever happens. He could leave tomorrow and he'll be remembered by everybody for the rest of our lives. But what is the point of signing a £60 million player if you don't at least use him when... No, I'm not saying drop Sonny. I'm saying rotate, rest. Give him a kick up the backside. Against Nottingham Forest, this is the longest question I've ever asked, but it's actually...
I was just about to say, what is the question?
It's not... I'm getting my own point out, and then I'll ask the question at the end of it. To me, the question is it time for, in your mind, to see a different setup against Nottingham Forest that involves Richarlison from the start?
What was the question? Sorry. Look, I know we kind of said similar, but in different ways with Richarlison. I'm going to tackle that point first. I like the fact that we spent £60 million for a player to sit on the bench, because to me, it's a positive move. I honestly do think he is a Conte player. He's keen. He's got that attitude. He wants to play. He's going to try and prove himself to play. And he's going to push the other players to hopefully... I mean, I know it's not working with Sonny now, but look, let's give Sonny a break. He's had 3 poor games, but, we can't jump on Sonny yet. He's been tremendous for us for a few seasons now.
Yeah,
I do think it's maybe time to start looking at, do we start Richarlison? Because this is why we've bought him, to be able to start. These people that say we shouldn't be starting him. Look, if he needs to come on as a start, then brilliant. Let's bring him on. But I honestly do think he's better as a sub at the moment because he brings that attitude in and he's wanting to prove that. If he gets 20, 25, 30 minutes, he's going to do something in them 25, 30 minutes. 60 million on him. I don't think there's anybody out there at the moment would say we didn't overspend on him. But it does, I'll go back to the beginning of this thing. It shows that a little bit more positivity that we are prepared to spend 60 million on a player to sit on the bench that looks as though he was a Conte signing. So, sit him on the bench, bring him on. If he does something brilliant, if Sonny doesn't come right next game or the game after, as long as we carry on getting 3 points, then I'm not worried about who starts and who finishes, as long as whoever.
How about this then? Rather than necessarily resting Sonny, would you see any suggestion or any need to maybe go to a back four against a team like Nottingham Forest, or maybe against a team like maybe not West Ham either, but maybe Fulham in the next home game, where you go to a back four, you play Reggie on the not Reggie, Sessegnon on the left, Emerson on the right, Romero and Eric Dyer in the back two, and then you go to a 4-2-3-1 with Sonny, Richarlison, Decky, and Kane up front.
It's a travesty waiting to happen.
No, personally,
Eric Dyer cannot play in a back four.
No, personally, I think we bring an extra midfielder in. So we bring Bissouma in or somebody and put 3 in the centre. That's the way I would go.
3-5-2. And so who gets dropped? So then there's no space for Richarlison or.
So
Decky.
to me, you're probably gonna keep. Yeah. So who do you drop then?
You move Decky to play right wing back because Decky could actually play there and he'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, to me, you're probably dropping Emerson or somebody like that. But
you've got no interest in seeing a back four at Tottenham this year at all.
No,
that
not
must
so much.
never happen. Never.
We went to back four against Chelsea, and then
for 10 minutes. Well, but it got us the goal though, didn't it? We went to a 4-2-4, which was gung ho.
Yeah, if we've got to go to a back four, but I don't see the point in starting it. I think, to me, we just need to boss that midfield a little bit more. That was the problem against Chelsea. That our whole left-hand side with Sessegnon, with Højbjerg, and then with Son up front, you had 2 players that weren't playing great in Sessegnon and Son. So therefore, it's all on my man Pierre, which made him look bad. But if we'd have had another player in midfield and just shored up that midfield a little bit more, then I don't think we'd have looked as ragged.
Okay, interesting. Nick, your thoughts, my man? Is there any way? Essentially, the question was: is there any way you could find Richarlison starting, whether that means dropping or resting Sonny, or playing all 4 at the same time?
Look, I think I've been quite vocal the first couple of games. Obviously, I saw Sonny against Southampton, and he hasn't really got any better. And in fact, he's probably got worse. But
definitely, Southampton was his best game.
But look, I've kind of taken a step back and thought about it. We go into a game week next week where we've got Forest, West Ham, then Fulham, right? So that is where realistically the rotation is going to start. And West Ham in particular is a game that is going to be fiery. Look, it all depends what happens on Sunday, right? If we go 3-4-0 up by half time and we can rest everyone, then it changes what happens on Wednesday. If it's a scrap, and
good point, great point.
So it really does depend on what happens on Sunday. Forest are going to be no mugs. They're just on the back.
No,
of
really good. I think they look like a really good team, and some of their players.
I mean, they've signed 16 players. They're probably going to sign another 38 more. So they're taking the risk. In terms of obviously wanting to stay in the Premier League. And obviously it is a risk, but look, I think, it all depends. But if there's any time that's going to be rotation, it's going to be next week at some point after Forest, depending on what the result is. Obviously West Ham next Wednesday. They're leading now in the Europa League or whatever Conference League or whatever competition that is insignificant to us this season. But they've scored no goals and they're bottom of the league. that doesn't mean that we're just going to go there and just walk it, because it's their cup final. And it's a London derby. And historically, we've not had amazing games when we've been, especially away early on in the season. So, look, in terms of Sonny, I think he's going to come good. What's exciting, and I think this is where I've kind of changed where I was thinking, what's exciting is that we're playing poorly, we're getting results, and Son and Kane are playing like crap. Yeah, so when we're playing better, and look, I would take... I don't want to take it. I would take us playing like we've played the first 3 games for the rest of the season if we get 7 points out of 9 in every 3 games.
In every 3-game period. Yeah.
And as much as we want to see...
Do you really want that, though? Like, is it more...
Is the 4-0, the 5-0s like we saw towards the end of the back end of last season? But do you know what? If we come out of... if we come out of next week again, another 7 points, it's...
I mean, I think we've got 9 points coming out of the next 3 games.
Well, this is where it comes down to, isn't it? Where it's that old argument: do we want to play well and lose, or do we want to play shit but win?
And win. Yeah.
What is the more important, the points or the thing? Well, the points, because when it comes to the end of the season, if we were second or close, or if we won it, we're not going to look back and say, "Oh yeah, but do you remember when we played shit against so-and-so?" No, we're going to be like, look at the points we've got,
hopefully you get a combination of both, right? Hopefully you can play badly occasionally and win, and the rest of the time you play well and deserve to win. Well, I don't want to see us getting away with murder.
You go back to say the City or the Liverpool games of last season, and we were under the hammer for a lot of the matches on them. But coming out either winning or drawing, none of us were talking about playing shit. We were buzzing because we'd taken points from them. But because we're taking points from teams that we think we should maybe win, but we're not playing great, we're all moaning. Well, what do we want to do? Play well and lose? No, I don't. I don't want to come out and say, "Oh, we should have won that, but we didn't."
And and like you say, Soren, if we get to the World Cup break and we've played rubbish, it has but we've got the points. It has a massive impact on, like you were saying, what was happening with Conte. If we're in the top 3. And it's we're there or thereabouts. If we've won 3 of our Champions League group games, and we're certain to go through, which means then we can rest players. Let's just say in the latter 3 games, it has a massive impact from then. What we're then going to do, go towards first Conte signing a new contract, then to January, and then what's going to happen, because that could all unravel very quickly. Because the moment, the moment something happens or we go on a run, look, we need to put a foot down now, because Liverpool are playing rubbish and they're not winning games. United, I fully expect United to go to Southampton and drop points.
Yeah, same.
And
that was a flash in the pan against Liverpool.
Yeah, and also, you talk about Chelsea look poor. They probably played the best that they played against us all season. That was the worst we'll probably ever say we'll play all season. And Arsenal, all very well playing 1 game a week, but they've got to then go and play 2 games a week, 3 games a week, and they don't have the squad depth. They lose.
Yeah, and the teams they played, they had officially the easiest start to the season. And
until they play us in the North London derby, they don't play anyone hard.
I'd be worried about United personally, lads. I don't think United should be sniffed at just because the Liverpool game.
Absolutely not.
The Liverpool game was a fluke. Not only did they play without their new boy Casemiro, but Casemiro comes in. And Anthony is not going to be too far behind. So you're going to see a team that will then be able to play Anthony, Rashford, Sancho up the front, Bruno Fernandes sitting in the cam, and then Eriksen and Casemiro playing in the middle. I mean, it sounds good. That team is going to be feckin' delicious. I honestly think that they're
still pulled down the wing back. So sorry.
Just jumping back quickly when we're talking about the Chelsea game. We're all sat here moaning that we played shit. Do you think the Chelsea fans are shouting from the rooftop saying how well they played and they only got a point off us? I bet there isn't a Chelsea fan out there saying, "Oh, we were great, but we only took a point off Spurs."
I can send you a video of a player who was chuffed that in spite of that he thinks that they got robbed and therefore he's absolutely delighted with the way his team played, and he's encouraged about things going forward because it took us stealing a point off them for us to win.
Do you know what? For me though, I feel like I take your point, Soren. There's no asterisks in life. There's only scoreboards. At the end of the day, you're going to look back at the end of the season and you might remember briefly moments about when we played badly. But at the start of the season are the games that you remember the least, I guess, at the end of the season. As long as we're a team that's improving, then I'll tolerate, and I'm very happy to get away with it right now. I also think it's worth, I softened my approach on the Wolves review because I immediately after the game went on to We Are Tottenham TV, and I was like, we're just rubbish. Like, we're not good enough. Like, this is a disappointing start to the season. All these high hopes, and it just doesn't look like we're any better or any different. But then I thought about it, and actually, over the Sunday, you see Man City struggling against Newcastle. You see Chelsea getting decimated by Leeds. You see Manchester United putting in a worldy performance against Liverpool, and you realise maybe the league is tighter than you give it credit for. Maybe there's, like the old adage, there's no easy games anymore. And for Tottenham to come away having played relatively poorly and get 7 points is actually a really positive sign that once we do kick into
those
gear,
exact fixtures last season, we got
0 points. Yeah, nil point. But let me just... Oh, sorry, go on, sorry. Go on,
I was just about to say the worrying thing is, we could go to City and Liverpool and get trounced this year.
Yeah.
So as much as we want to say these games last year, we didn't pick any points up. We don't know how the games we did pick points up. But as long as we keep going on these games that we either should be thinking of winning if we want to be a top team, or ones where we lost last year when we shouldn't have done, as long as we keep picking points up, and as long, we're 2 points away from top. So, as long as we're in that...
And we've played out... The toughest game in the season for Tottenham is Chelsea away. And that's out of the way. Like, we're done with that one.
Yeah, if we go ahead and win the next 3 games, and we play poorly still...
We'll be at the top of the league in the next 3 games.
We could still only be 2 points off top. We could be top.
I think we will be top. I don't think Arsenal... who have Arsenal got coming up? They've actually still got 3 easy games.
They've got 3 easy games. Arsenal's whole first half of the season is the hardest part, and there's
because we play everybody, all the top 6 we play away from home apart from Liverpool before October.
Yeah, but exactly. Can you imagine us going down there to Library and winning? That'll soon knock the stuffing out of them again. We might not, but in theory, the way this season is looking at the moment, thus far, it's still in our hands. Everything is in our hands at the moment.
And also, there was a stat. I don't know whether you saw the stat. The team that was top at the end of game week 1, 90% of those teams have gone on to win the league.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I know the old stat. If you're top at Christmas, you're top at the end of the league. But I didn't know. Game week 1.
But look. If you go back to Arsenal, right? They have to go. They've got Fulham at home, Villa at home, United away, Everton at home. Then they've got this is where they're going to fall apart.
October's tough for them, isn't it? Yeah.
No. September's.
Oh, sorry, September. Sorry.
Brentford away, Tottenham at home, Liverpool at home, Leeds away, City at home, Southampton away.
Yeah.
Then they've got Forest. Then they got Chelsea. Then they've got Brighton.
Yeah. They always beat Chelsea at the bridge, though. It's really annoying.
No, but that's but they are playing. They're finally going to get their hard fixtures, but unfortunately, most of those hard fixtures are actually them at home as well. Second half of the season, I hope that those fixtures stay as compressed. But when they play away from home, then I think you'll see Arsenal go through a period of getting 0 points from like 4 or 5 games.
Until the end of the season, we're not going to know anything other than the fact that we're either still in it or we're not. Full stop. And it will show up at the end.
Yeah. Sorry, Derek, you're absolutely right, mate. Sean, you just said there's no easy games in the league, and then you say Arsenal got 3 easy games. At least you're listening. At least I know you're listening, Derek.
Big up, Derek.
I just want to ask you guys this. Like we got like sort of 15, 20 minutes before I know that Nick's got to go over to his show, and I'll be plugging that. But there's a few people in the comments that are. I mean, I know Eugene's just left, but he's been saying Levy out, and then there's a few other people as well. Let me just skip back. I think Jammy Git seems to be quite Levy out. I think here's the one. He's saying about Levy's a liar. There's quite a few people that are sort of maybe the knives are starting to get sharpened by certain people because the window hasn't been as. I mean, it started out looking really delicious when I was doing that thus far argument.
This is recency bias all over. Like, no one gives a crap that we kicked off the transfer window better than absolutely anybody. We were demolishing it compared to any other team. And when you look at it in like retroactively, like people are only paying attention to the fact that we haven't done anything recently and don't care that we got in Basuma, Perisic, Richarlison. Like these were absolutely
yeah. But have we
phenomenal
improved though? We've like I think last season we had like whatever you would call the first 11. Then like the sub bench was down here. All I feel like we've done is just raise the bench. We
and
haven't
that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen the 11 get a bit better.
The reason that we got top 4 with only a solid 11 and 2 players that came off the bench briefly. We got top 4 with that team. All we have to do is have an incredible bench, and then you're able to rotate more, keep players fresh, and we'll do even better than we did last season. Let's not
think we
pretend
closed the
like
gap on.
last
Do you
season's
think we
team
closed
was
the gap
fluff.
on? Have we closed the gap on Chelsea's squad? Have we closed the gap on Man City squad?
Chelsea squad we have. Because Chelsea, the train has come off the track with Chelsea. We've no concerns there. I don't think the Chelsea are an issue. Arsenal have improved on Chelsea as well. Arsenal are a bigger worry for me than Chelsea right now.
Newcastle
are doing very, very well.
I think the thing that a lot of people are forgetting is, the players that we've brought in, they might not be world class as some. Perisic has been world class. Whether he's still world class is a debate. But what we've done is in my eyes anyway, we've made ourselves harder to beat. That's the thing. Now, we can look back on the bench and think, right, well, we've now hopefully got somebody who can create something or do something. Last year, we looked at the bench and it was like, what can we do? Yeah. And you look at the team, hopefully when Basuma comes, once he starts hitting the ground and hopefully Skip will have a little bit more of a run this year. We haven't maybe bettered our first 11, but you look at it, how do you better Sonny? How do you better Kane? How do you better Kulusevski? How do you better Bentancur, other than Højbjerg? How do you better some of these players without buying the top of the? We're not going to buy the top class players at the very, very top of. We're not going to buy a Haaland. He's not going to come to Tottenham. So what we've done is, no, but this is what I'm saying. We've made ourselves, in theory, harder to beat. And we've shown that already. But we haven't played well, and I'm the first one to say that. But we also haven't been beat.
Can you imagine how formidable we're going to be when we're back on the form that we had at the end of last season with the new players?
Yeah, and I also think we're also seeing the reason why Son and Kane in particular, and a few of the others haven't looked at 100% of the races is because they're waiting for the work that they've done in pre-season to kick in and kick into their legs. And the moment that it kicks into their legs, that's going to hold us. And like Soren said, last season, look, we got to the... let's not go qualm anything about it. Like you said, Adam, we got top 4 with the team we got, last season with 11 plus maybe 1. Southampton, we brought on Doherty, Basuma, Longley, Perisic, Richarlison, so Mora. So, and then because Richarlison was suspended, last year we were looking at the bench and going, it's Harry Winks and Harry Winks. So we by improving the bench, the players on the pitch automatically now know that they also need to players on the pitch need to raise their game because there won't be the opportunity. Whereas before, with Doherty injured, Emerson knew he's playing right back. Yeah. With Sessegnon injured, Reguilon knew he was playing left wing back. There was no competition. There was nothing for them to push themselves. And also, going back to the Champions League, we got to the Champions League with the squad that we have. We have a better squad than we did in 2019.
Yeah, exactly. You look at those players now that might come off the bench. So say Richarlison. So say Sessegnon. So say Doherty. They're all they want their places. They want to start games. So these are now players. Maybe not Sessegnon and Doherty, but these are players that need to prove themselves again. Doherty will be in his mind thinking, well, I can easily take Emerson's place. Sessegnon might not quite believe that he can take Perisic once he's a starter, but he will know that if he comes on and makes Conte think that, well, this guy deserves another. another chance and goes in some of the cup runs or something like that, and he's playing shit hot, the only place that I think we haven't got that sort of urgency to, a player that can go for the first team other than, say, Longley, is the back three. They're the ones where we've got no real competition. Sanchez is never going to take over Romero's job. Longley might take Davis. I mean, I haven't seen enough of him play to know how good he can be. I've seen a little bit.
I really want to see him play on the weekend at some point this week.
But again, to me, Longley is the Emerson Royale, the opposite way. He's from what I understand, he's brilliant at going forward, but he might not be the great defender. Whereas Ben Davies is the better defender, but not great at going forward.
Yeah, when we saw Longley during preseason, that there was
and he was brilliant going forward, wasn't he?
He was, but there was also plenty of evidence to suggest that he was doing a great job in defense as well. To be honest, and I think that with Langley and Davis are going to be competition for each other. They are going to be fighting for a spot, which is great.
And I'll tell you what, Davis will not want to lose that spot.
No, he won't. And the thing about, we don't really need Sanchez, although Sanchez has had a fantastic game against Wolves, and the stats show that in however many minutes it's been, crazy stats,
over 7.5 hours.
We haven't conceded. Let's be fair. We cannot say that he's not competition for Romero, but Romero plays as though he doesn't need competition anyway. Romero is just an absolute savage. So we need one more centre back to give competition for Dyer. That's all.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't think that's the most pressing position we need extra players in.
Oh, you still think you think someone in the midfield or forward line is more important than
midfield and wing back? I cannot stand that Sessegnon is even in the picture. I really can't. I'd like to have a wing back who was versatile and could play both sides, and then you were able to rotate. I hope Doherty comes back firing, but if we had a wing back who was 2-footed like Perisic, and then you had options consistently. Sessegnon for me is absolutely brutal.
I don't think there's going to be a wing back coming, because in theory, Perisic can play right. Perisic can play right. Doherty can play left, and I do not see.
And Lucas Moura, Kulusevski.
Yeah. But none of them. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that considering how important the wing-back positions are in a Conte system, I just don't think that all the players you're naming, it's great that we have them. Yes, we're never going to be stuck for someone to play wing-back, but are they at the quality of Perisic?
But do you realistically see? Do you actually? This is the question, right? For me, this is something that's been drifting in my mind and out of my mind. All of last season, all of this summer, there's been this narrative of what Conte wants, Conte gets. If Conte's happy, I'm happy. Conte's the man. Trust in Conte, we trust. And yet he seems to be the only person involved with Tottenham, apart from maybe the higher ups, who seems to be happy with the right wing back spot. He doesn't particularly want Jed Spencer in and around the team yet, but he doesn't seem to be. There seems to be zero noise about us signing anybody else. He seems to love Emerson, right? He seems to absolutely love Emerson.
When the question was asked, if Emerson and Doherty were wing backs next season, will you be happy? I wasn't one of the ones who said I'd be devastated. I'm not thrilled about the idea, but if he's happy with Emerson Doherty on the right, so am I. To be honest, it's
right. But a lot of people that used to say whatever Conte wants, Conte gets. Now they're starting to change their tune, saying what the fuck's going on? Emerson and Doherty. If we are stuck with Emerson and Doherty and Lucas Moura at the right wing back, we are not going to do bits this season.
The thing is, though, with that
noise is starting to come out, whilst you can hear the knives sharpening in the background at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, people are always going to do that. That's the problem, at the end of the day, I'm not greatly infused by those two at right wing back.
Neither am I. Yeah.
It's the one position other than Jed Spence, which we know isn't a Conte signing. It's the one position we have not been linked with a single player.
Nobody. Conte absolutely loves Emerson for whatever reason. Maybe it was the holding up of the flare, whatever. Yeah, his attitude. But Conte seems to be really happy with Emerson. I can't find many Tottenham fans, whether you like Emerson, don't like Emerson, hate him, think he's getting better. I'm in the pool of people that think he's getting better, and I don't mind him hanging around, but I still don't think he's good enough. If we want to go on to do really big bits, then going forward, he's still...
The thing is, all these people jumping on Emerson's back, this guy was bought into playing a back four. He wasn't brought into playing a back three. So if we were playing a back four, I'd be quite, I wouldn't be as worried with Emerson being in there. More worried about Doherty being in a back four than Emerson. So in that sense,
I think, and also, and Adam, you said it. I watched your drive, your drive. I want to say drive by, but it wasn't a drive by.
It's Tottenham drive by.
It's called Tottenham drive by.
It was a drive by. Okay, cool. That's fine. Just without the AK-47 out the window. That's fine. No, I was watching it, right, and you're absolutely right with the way that we are as fans, and we're all guilty of it. After a game, we go either one way or the other, right? We're either right at the top or we're right at the bottom. Literally, like 1 minute it's, oh my god, everything's okay. The next minute, Levy out. This is bullshit. Everything, Conte out. The whole thing. But the Southampton game, right? Romero had the poorest 35 minutes that I've ever seen him play, but no one was calling Romero out because it was Romero, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So Romero can have a bad 30, 35 minutes or a bad half or even a bad game, but no one says that. If Emerson puts a cross in and no one's near it, oh my God.
Oh, come
Emerson.
on! Get this guy
my
out
God.
of the club!
I told you he can't
sake.
play. He can't cross. He can't do this. The reason why he put those two, there was no one near the crosses against Chelsea, is because no one expected him to put the crosses in. Not because he wasn't,
But the thing is with that, the advice I've got for every single Spurs fan, because the game against Wolves at the weekend, I couldn't watch because I was working. I came back and I watched the highlight reel, which was 7 minutes long. And I tell you what, we bossed that game. We absolutely bossed that game in that highlight reel. 7 minutes, we played fantastic. Don't care what anybody says. And I tell you what, Sonny had a good game in them 7 minutes as well.
Yeah.
So my advice to all Spurs fans is stop watching the match. Just watch the highlight reel. We don't play as bad.
Well, you know what? You can always see Emerson's highlight reel because he's got... he pays someone to put them together and get them out on Twitter almost before full time's even finished. I just want to quickly call this one out because I did mention it when we were talking about him in the pre-draw. But Nick, I'll get your take on it because I know that you've seen this, or maybe you have. I don't know, but this is Tottenham's most successful players this season thus far at number of players dribbled past. Emerson Royale is top of the pops, and somebody else here. Someone else was saying, Enrique. What's happening, Enrique? Good to see you, my man. He's saying he beat 8 a couple of times as well. He did, and he's got 5 out of 100% for every attempt of dribbling past a player this season. Thus far, he has 100% record of doing it. Dejan Kulusevski less than 50% success rate. Richarlison 80%, 4 from 5. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is pretty good, but he doesn't do it enough. And Bentancur 3 from 5. I know it's obviously early data, but maybe are we still guilty? Like to that point you were saying, Nick. People give many reprieves to players that they love for playing badly, but players that they don't like, the first mistake, and they want to pull those knives out, like old Adam William Cahill for Højbjerg.
No, I always give credit where credit's due. Credit where credit's due. Højbjerg has had a great 2 games, and I'm not complaining.
Yeah, so the last, everyone, there's always that, there's always that thing about Højbjerg. He divides a lot of people, right? But he has played well the last 2 games, and look, it just goes to show he's run it. But yeah, 100%. Look, he, for me, I wouldn't be unhappy if Emerson. And it looks that way that he will be the starting right wing back in the important games, right? And credit where credit's due. We're quick to jump on the players when they don't perform, but we're not quick enough to praise them because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit a narrative. It doesn't fit. We can all sit there and say this has happened, that's happened. I sat there and I probably went too harshly on Son, but I can sit there and say, do you know what? Maybe I was wrong. But a lot of people have to just carry on, like. Oh, why you say why? What's this about Son? What's this about Son? What's this about Son? Okay, well, he's played badly. We can all sit there and say he's probably had the worst 3 games that he's ever played for in a row in a Spurs shirt. But it doesn't fit people's narrative to say that against him. But they're quick to, like you said, for Emerson. If Emerson's, I didn't see the Wolves game, but look, if he's come out on those stats for the first 3 games, we need to give him the credit that he deserves, right?
I mean, the problem is though with people like Emerson and Dyer and Davis, and they make a mistake and it's generally shown up pretty badly. It can end up in a goal or whatever. If Sonny has a bad game and makes a mistake, generally it's not shown up quite as much. But what we've got to think about with Sonny is, are we more critical with Sonny because he set such a high bar anyway? We all expect him to have a great game, but if you watched all those games when he's had a poor game, and I'm not defending him saying he hasn't had a poor game, but he's still had a run or two in there. His finishing might not have been where it should be, but he has to be there to score a goal, and he's still getting there. He's just not got the end product. What's Kane got other than
that's what you mean. So if we're talking about levels in terms of levels of player. If you're Sonny, he's put his level up there, so we expect his level to be up there. If you're Emerson, your level's there, so when he's bringing it up to
show up,
kind of where he needs to, right? A defender, if we keep a clean sheet, that's the defense's job. If a striker scores, that's his job. If Hugo makes some saves, that's his job. So, but I think we go too crazy to go, oh well, Hugo made some good saves. Okay, he did, but ultimately, that's what he's paid to do. Harry Kane scored goals. As an attacker, that's what he should be doing, And I think we just need to remember that, and to sit there and not go too far. So, like Emerson and Cess against Southampton, they had good games. Good games based on what they should be doing, but also where they had been. So they brought it up to where they needed to do. What we need to see is those good games turning into 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row, and then take it to the next level, and then add the goals, and then because with all due respect, Cess against Southampton was he was good. He was probably better than good. I wouldn't say he was great, but he was better than good, and we hadn't seen that. So, and that comes back to what we were talking about earlier, Sean, in the terms of. There's Perisic there. Perisic, when he was on the bench against Chelsea, was when they had that water break or whatever it was when Conte and Tuchel had the first kind of flare-up. He was in all the players' ears telling them, right, you need to do that, you need to do that. And he's that leader in the dressing room, not the leader like Sissoko and Aurier and all the the toxicness that was coming out of it. The leader saying, look, you're good. You know you are. Maybe it's a confidence thing, mate. Whatever the reason is, and that's where we need. I think that's why we're bringing these players up. But you're right. We do need. So we just need to just be calm and see where we're going. But I think, look, if we come out of the next 3 games, and it will be perfect because next Saturday is my wedding. Perfect to have another night. 16 points out of 18 would be amazing. Absolutely incredible. And then if we still play badly, we're going to be going into nearly the first international break going, we've played pretty crap. But
imagine how good we can be if we actually turn it on.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, we could be playing fantastic now and have 0 points.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Let's just jump a little bit slightly left field with the Sonny situation. Jump back to last season, August, September. Kane was shit. Kane was shit. And look what, he came... These are the things. Sonny carried Kane last year. Well, doesn't Sonny deserve a little bit of a drop?
100%. It's a long season. I don't think anyone's saying we've lost faith in Sonny. I think the question was more around just like if we've got a £60 million player and somebody has to make way at some point at the moment on if you want to work on a meritocracy, which I always try to, then I think that you would have to make the argument that if someone has to be dropped or rotated or rested or whatever, it probably should be Sonny.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I mean, the thing is, like we've said and we've looked, you can look over the years, there's always a player that is better coming off the bench. And at the moment, to me, that's Richarlison. He's hungry. He wants to come off the bench. Now, he could be one of these players that we start him and he plays crap. Yeah. I mean, until we do it, we'll never know.
I think we're going to see it this week. I think at some point, either with Fulham, Forest, or West Ham, we're going to see Richarlison.
I don't think he'll drop Sonny over the next 2 games.
No,
I think we'll start with virtually the same team again against Forest and against West Ham.
And West Ham. Yeah. Okay.
I honestly do.
Okay.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if Richarlison comes in after that, but I don't see him starting yet.
I worry about that because Richarlison's not someone to keep his disappointment. If he gets fed up, he might end up saying something. You know.
I don't think he will. As long as any team, if you're winning and you're picking up points, those players will be content. Now, if we start losing and they're not playing, that's when you'll see the discontent coming in. Okay.
All right. Last question. We've only got a few minutes before we got to wrap this up. Actually, there's two questions. I want to ask this one from Tom Marcannon to you, Adam. Specifically, did the club or Levy mess up our right wing back options by signing Spence? Did that put paid to any other attempt to get somebody else in?
Again, I think that's put yet again. It's one of those situations where Levy is taking the blame for something there's a lot of moving parts, and sometimes the parts just don't fit together. What I've heard, and again, it's just through obviously social media and the usual outlets, the usual pundits and whatever, is that Spence is one for the future. It's one that Conte was convinced of by Levy, but in coming in, Conte has said, okay, yeah, he's one for the future. I'm not going to use him this season, though. Let's send him out on loan. Mm-hmm. And Spence, point blank,
said no, right? Yeah.
And that's why Conte dropped him from the squad last week. He wasn't in the squad against Wolves whatsoever.
He hasn't been in any of the squads, has he?
I think he might have been against Southampton, but
I don't think he was.
Was he not? So basically,
I don't think he's played. I don't think he's been in any of the match day squads. I think he played in the under-23 game last week against was it Leicester or Portsmouth?
I think he was on the bench for Southampton.
Oh, was he? Okay.
I didn't think he was. I'm sure.
I thought he was. I thought he was on the bench for Southampton. But either way, it's one of those things where it's not Levy's fault that Conte decided to insult Spence by saying, I don't even want you near my squad this season. Let's send you out on loan somewhere else. Like, Spence was excited to join Tottenham. Levy was excited to have him on board, one for the future. I mean, as like even Brian Daigle, who's not a Levy enthusiast, has said that you've got to, if we're in the position of having lots of solid players come in, diamonds come in, you could accept a lump of gold. A lump of coal that's going to be, thought of as turning into diamond at some stage in the future. It's not. I don't think anybody realistically wanted that for Spence. If he's going to come in, give him a shot. We were hoping for an upgrade. Spence was talked about in really, really high regard. So Conte has put the brakes on that. Spence is unhappy with that going forward. I don't think it's Conte's fault, Levy's fault. I think it's
okay.
It's a lot of different moving pieces, and Spence could potentially come on leaps and bounds in the future. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a failure at all. It's a wait and see situation.
All right, guys, and then real quick, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Tom. Mate, really nice of you, buddy. I hope that answers your question from Adam. Last question. We've got 5 minutes before we got to wrap this up, and then I'm going to let you know about Nick's stream. But I want to ask you boys, quick as you can, how many signings do you think will happen? How many signings do you want to happen? And so how many do you want? How many do you think? And then of the think answer, how many? Who do you think they'll be, and in what positions? Just really quickly. I'll start with you, Adam, and then we'll go round the houses there.
I think we'll get 2. For me to be optimistic about progression in the Champions League, I think we need 3, but I think we will get 2.
And who would they be, and in what positions? Well, yeah,
centre back, centre mid, and wing back. Is what we need realistically. And
the names you'd like to see?
I would like to see in the centre back position. I'm not sure anymore. I've gone back and forth over so many, and I think that as well. With next season, presumably we're not keeping Lenglet, and we're going to try and bring in someone bigger. So who do I want to see? Gvardiol, but that's probably a next season thing. Do you know what I mean?
So,
yeah. So maybe Guehi. Guehi might do as an understudy for the time being. Centre mid, I'm still quite fond of the idea of bringing in James Maddison, although I think it's highly unlikely with his price tag. But that's who I'd like to see. But this other guy, I can never remember his name, the Ukrainian lad who plays for Atalanta.
Malinovsky.
That would be great. I think that would be great. And then I'm all in favour of Adama Traore. I really am. I'd play him out and have him on the wings. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
I hope we're not going to end up playing against Malinovsky for Marseille. He's strong links with him going there. So might be catching that one. Quick as you can. Sorry, my man. How many do you think? How many do you want? And in what positions? And what names?
I think we'll get 2. I want minimum of 2. I don't think we'll get a centre back. I don't think we'll get a right wing back. I think if we get 2, they're probably going to be both in midfield. And I'd like to still think we might get Paqueta, Malinovsky. The dream ones, obviously, Milenko, Savic. I don't know. I can also see us getting somebody still left field that none of us are even thinking about.
Let's hope so.
But I do think we need 2 in, because I do think there'll be 2 or 3 more going out. So we've got to get 2 in. Or, even one big name. If we got Milenko, Savic, I won't be bothered if we didn't get anybody else. As much as I want somebody else, I don't think, it wouldn't bother me as much if we didn't.
Okay. Love it. And Nick, same question. How many do you think? How many do you want? Who they're going to be? And then also tell us about your show that's starting in 8 minutes.
So I think it'll be 2. I want it to be 3. And I said it earlier. So it'll be Malinovsky, St. Maximum, and Traore. Those are the 3 potentially. But like Soren just said, I'm hoping there's some left field one out. Looking out there. Obviously with the whole Bastoni question mark, there's still something that needs to be done at Inter. Inter still need to sell.
Yeah. Wow.
So
they've been sat on the pot all summer. Shit, or get off the fucking pot, Inter. They're not doing anything, are they? And they got to raise some money.
It's not going to be Zaniolo now, is it?
No. So and apart from that, we in 7 minutes time, we're doing a bit. The show's called Dances with Wolves. Bit of Kevin Costner over on Shelfside Spurs, 7:30. If you we're going to be talking about obviously the Champions League draw, Carabao Cup draw, talk about Wolves, preview Forest, in answer to Tom's question, I have very many names, and you shouldn't be confused about it. Nick, Barry, Sean, Ranjit Torino, as many names as that you can think of, I've probably got
Ryder.
them. Look, we've had a great. We couldn't have asked for a better draw. We'll carry on talking about it over on Shelfside Spurs Show in
amazing 7 minutes time.
6 minutes, yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. Look, Tottenham get an absolute lovely draw. Well, if you want the easiest draw, then Tottenham probably couldn't have picked a better one if they had the choice of just picking our names out of a hat. We've got Marseille, Benfica, and Eintracht Frankfurt. I will update. I don't know this. I've been looking whilst we've been talking. They still haven't brought out any fixtures, when we're playing who, and in what day and which days. But I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. We completely forgot to mention the Carabao Cup game. We drew against Nottingham Forest, again away from home. So this is obviously a warm up on Sunday. You're going to see me tomorrow. I don't know if Adam, if you're around or not. I should ask you, but beforehand. But we are going to do the Nottingham Forest preview show at some point tomorrow. And love you all. Thank you very much to Ray for the super chat, to Ray for the new member, and also to Tom for the super chat as well. Thank you. Is there anybody, Adam or Soren, is there any channels you want me to plug or anything?
No. You can catch me right here, folks. Right here. Spurs Talk Show. By the way, just while I have you, Nick, thank you so much again. Once again, I want to just thank you publicly. Nick was able to help me figure out how I sort myself out with tickets to the Wolves game. It's the only reason I was there over the weekend. Absolute legend. Love you, bro. And I hope your wedding, if I don't talk to you now and then, I hope your wedding is an absolute smash.
I want to thank you for keeping Adam off the live stream as well. Thank you.
Can you maybe get us some Champions League away tickets, Nick? You the man to get something like that?
Here we go.
All right, guys. Love you all. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Please smash that like button one last time. Let's try and get over 100 likes and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, guys, come on, you Spurs. And as always,
Come
guys,
on, you
as
Spurs.
always, bye-bye.